I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own head, constantly thoughts jumbled round, think I need a new lobotomy. Wait, all these thoughts are too negative, I don't wanna get lost in the sedative. Gotta show them what I got, I'm competitive. You know I'm about to go.
Hey guys, welcome back again to Dave's Dimension. Welcome back again for another live stream. It's Tuesday night. It's 9 o'clock. You know what that means. It's Tuesday Night Talks. Guys, we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to unpack. I wasn't going to do a stream tonight. I've been feeling a little bit run down with the weather lately. A little bit of chaos and insanity with work. But I said, guys, we got to do the stream. We have to do the stream. Not just for the channel, but for a few other things we need to talk about. Of course, you guys looking at the bottom of the screen, you can see right now the school lunch fundraiser is still, excuse me, is still going on. If you want all the details for that, I'll talk about that a little bit later, but the details are right in the stream/video description below. So if you want details and how to go ahead and donate and support that cause, it's right there in the video description below, guys. Now, the school lunch fundraiser is something that it's always going around year round, but usually around this time of year in the fall, Dre of the Collector's Safe Space, and of course me, we get together and we try and promote it during the month of October to try and raise money for lunch, school lunches across the entire nation. However, we understand that there's a lot going on in the country right now. There were several hurricanes that swept up and down the southern coast. I mean, there's a lot of people in the Carolinas who are without power, without jobs, without, their livelihoods. Jobs have been washed away. Homes, neighborhoods, have just been completely uprooted and just torn apart. So we understand that there are other charities out there, but if you find yourself in a position where you're able to donate, then please go to the video description below. Down there, you'll find the link to the school lunch fundraiser. Okay? Now, let me show you guys a little something about that now. Let's go ahead and pull that up right here. Now, the school lunch fundraiser is an initiative, not just by us, but is through the Food Research and Action Center. It is a national foundation that helps fund school lunches and nutritional programs across the entire country. This isn't just in one state, it's across many states. Okay, they are here. Now, what we're asking you to do is, this is what we're asking. We're asking you to come to the site. The link is in the description below. You're going to click on the link that says donate. Excuse me. That's going to bring you to this page right here. It talks about America facing startling hunger crisis. In 2023, 13.8 million children lived in households that experienced food insecurity. In other words, that they cannot afford lunches, they cannot afford meals. Okay, they rely on food pantries, they rely on friends and neighbors, SNAP or food stamp programs, and still they're not able to do what they can. Okay, what we're asking you guys to do is come down here, just donate $10. Donate $10. And what I'm choosing is the Healthy School Lunches for All. That's what you want to choose for this school lunch program. You're going to click on that. You can just leave this part blank where you want to donate or the dedication donated for. You can leave it blank, or you can put it in honor of someone, or you can even increase your donation amount. They have 25, 50, 100, 500, 1,000. We're just doing $10. You would click next, and then you would fill in your information. Now, when you get to this point, after you get to this point and you confirm your donation, all you have to do is take out your cell phone, take a picture with your cell phone, or use the old almighty snipping tool if you're on a Windows-based computer. Take a screenshot of this, and then you're going to send this to Instagram. You're going to either message this to Dre of Collector Safe Space, or you're going to message me at Dave's_Dimension. Message one of us with your first and last name and your Instagram screen name, and your donate, and you're entered. Now, what are you entered in for? We're going to do a stream in early November. We're going to do a live stream where we're going to do a final kickoff for the fundraiser here, where we're actually going to give out prizes. Okay, but you have to be in it to win it, guys. Okay, now, yes, we are giving out some prizes, but I will say this, guys, it's not about the prizes, it's about making the difference here. So that's what we're asking you guys to do, to please step up and join us for the school lunch fundraiser. Again, all the details are in the video description below, guys. But it's that simple. Donate $10, you're entered in on the wheel. If you want to be entered in 2 or 3 times, or even 4 or 5, it's $10 per donation, $10 entries. You can, if you want to donate $30, you could break it up into 3 donations, and that means 3 separate entries. Okay, but you guys have to submit that information to us via Instagram. Now, if you don't happen to have Instagram, we will also accept email. Dave's Dimension 78 at gmail.com is going to be the email address that you will go ahead and send that information off to. But guys, that's what we're doing, the school lunch fundraiser. So please help us, help them make a world of difference. This is about the kids. This is about their nutrition. So many kids go throughout the entire day without the right energy, the right vitamins, the right nutrients, the right protein to make it through their, not just to make it through the day, but to have the energy to learn, retain the information, and to push their knowledge even further than they normally would. So literally, this is a big difference, and we're hoping you guys can step up and help us out. Okay, now this is going to run until October 31st. So midnight on Halloween, that's when this contest ends. And we will tally all the names and entries, and we will schedule the stream. Okay, so please stay tuned for that. But we have a lot more going on. But let's go ahead and check out the chat, guys. What do you say? Oh, we already got a lot of messages here. We got Nerd Affiliate saying, "What's up?" Of course, I'm saying what's up right back at him. We got Ultra Carterzilla. Oh, here's his pickup, some Royal Jack Labs. I received my 5th and 6th Star Wars Vintage Collection VC-120 Hoth Rebel Soldiers and did head wraps on them using Channing Tatum's Duke and V-32 Resolute Duke heads. There we go. We got Dark Lycan saying, "Hey, Dave," in chat. And again, if anyone out there wants to jump in on the stream, if anyone wants to join me, the link is in the video description below, guys. So if you want to join, just click that link and hop through the portal, and you'll be right here, guys, with me. Let's take a look. Ultra Carzilla, last target for last Sunday. I got the Jurassic Park Hammond Collection, Raptor Delta, and Jurassic Park 93 Classic T-Rex Off-Road Tracker Pack, which was on sale for $40, originally $50. Hey, every little bit helps, right? Helps that wallet. Let's take a look at this. Sadly, no sale on the Jurassic Park 93 Classic Red Rex, nor it's on clearance. There you go. Ultra Carzilla saying, "Hey, the Dark Like," and we got Rolando Flores. Rolando's in the house. Rolando, that goes for you too. If you ever want to hop on the stream, you know the link is in the video description below. So please, by all means, if you ever want to jump in and talk, it's right there. But also, please, Rolando, I know you are a multiversal moderator. I also have the donation links for the school lunch fundraiser. So if you want to help us out with spreading that information around, again, we will be having a stream in early November, but we need people to enter this giveaway, enter this fundraiser to make that difference, guys. So please step up if you can. I know a lot of people are dealing with health issues, are dealing with hurricane relief. People are trying to raise money for families who are down and out, and we completely understand that. But the school lunch fundraiser is something that we try to do every year, and we want to make sure it's a success any way we possibly can, guys. Everyone's saying hello to everybody else. Nerd Affiliated. Archer saying it's a great cause. And by the way, guys, I would stay tuned this Thursday at 8:15ish to the Nerd Affiliated YouTube channel. I'm sure Archer and all of his fellow banditos, his fellow nerdbusters, are going to have plenty to talk about this coming Thursday at 8:15ish. They were, in fact, him and a Ramblin' Nerd Anthony were both at New York City Comic-Con this past weekend. They were busting it up like they always do. And I'm sure they got plenty of stories. And also check out their Instagram. I saw the Nerdbusters and, of course, Nerd Affiliated posting some pictures with the likes of Seth and so many other content creators and other cosplayers who were there at the con. So you guys definitely want to check them out. We got the Peaky Arrow. Peaky. Again, my man, anytime you want to hop on, the portal is open, man. All you got to do is click the link in the video description below and jump in and join us. I know you got a little time difference there. Ultra Carzilla says, just lost internet, so I'm watching it through my phone. I appreciate that, Ultra Carzilla. He says, my sister got me for my late birthday is the Jurassic Park 93 classic Alan Grant and Ian Malcolm packs, and they will work great for his Halo Jurassic Park crossover reels for next year. You guys want to definitely stay tuned to Ultra Carzilla, and you not just on YouTube, but also on Instagram. Go ahead and check him out and give him a follow. He's got some amazing figure photography you want to check out. And like he says, he's got a Halo Jurassic Park reels planned for next year, so please stay tuned and follow him for more information on that. And we got Creativity from the Future saying, hey everybody, I hope everyone's having a great Tuesday. we're almost halfway through the week. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Usually I work from home, but this week I'm having to work from the office. VPN issues. If you know anything about VPNs, you know they can be a pain at times. I kind of called it. I kind of told the people at my job. I was like, well, I'm pretty sure it's a VPN, and I was vindicated. So that was I got to feel a little bit proud about that. But yeah, I got to work the week until we can get me a new laptop to work. So we'll see what happens with that. But again, guys, please consider donating to the school lunch fundraiser. Again, the links are in the description below. But guys, let me place you on a brief pause. I will be right back. Whoa, not that. Okay, I'm back, guys. Sorry. I had to do the old Fred Flintstone bit where I had to let the cat out of the room. She wanted out, so I had to put everything on pause. Let's see here. Ultracar says, I just got bit internet back, so I'm watching back on my laptop. Awesome. So, what do we need to talk about? Well, first and foremost, we got a lot of things I want to show off to you guys, but first and foremost, Haslab time. Now, last week we were talking about the leaks. And me and my multiple guests, including the world-renowned, internationally known Rick from Left Coast Graphics, he came on and he gave us a very plausible theory, and it wound up being spot on the money. Speaking of the money, we got the man, the myth, the moneymaker himself, the master of the Zords, Peaky Arrow. Peaky, we can't hear you. Maybe he's having some troubles there. Peaky, can you speak? Those that don't know, Peaky is across the pond over in the UK. Hello? We are not getting any sound from you, Peaky. Try backing out and coming back in if you can. Hold on, I'm going to see if I can do something here for you. Okay, he's going to pop back in and see if we can get his audio working. Want to talk about the Haslab, okay? Now, like I said, Rick from Left Coast Graphics, he had the theory that since they did the vintage collection, Hasbro did the Star Wars Cantina vintage collection, that since they did two versions of that, they could do two versions for the Ecto, a regular and a deluxe version. And we saw hints of that because a couple weeks before, Nerd Affiliated had uncovered information that over in the UK, at least on the Hasbro site, they had two versions. They had a play set, not an Ecto, but a play set, a regular and a deluxe. And they tried to say that those were a little bit of a leak, or that it wasn't a leak, but it was some tests being run on the website. Okay. And Rolando, yeah, Rick has a crazy theory, and he wound up being right. Peaky.
Hey!
We have sound. We have sound. The Peaky Arrow, the number
Hello.
one dogger. What's up?
Oh, like, I'm sorry. I would get out of it. I woke up to hearing your voice. It's 2 a.m. right
Again?
now. I woke up
Again?
hearing your voice. I was like, I'll jump on.
I mean, hey, it's it's only 2 a.m. where you are, but it's 9:15 p.m. here. But yeah, so let's talk about it.
Yeah.
This sexy beast here, known as the Ecto-1. Now Peaky, correct me if I'm wrong. Did you not say on Rum's Lego stream, the Lego studs on Saturday mornings, that you have backed this?
I did. I backed it while I was on the stream.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now here's the true question. Okay, did you back? Which one did you back? Did you back the regular? Did you do the deluxe?
What do you think I back?
That thing up?
Well, that as always.
Hello, ladies. No. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer to do the deluxe.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I don't have the figures anyway. I don't have the 4 Ghostbusters.
you don't have the originals?
No.
Okay.
So for me, it was a no-brainer to back them
Okay.
because you get their proton
Well,
packs with them. You get
let's do something. Since you're talking about you don't have them. Now I know some people are going to say, well, how can you get the original figures? I mean, it's been a couple of years already.
yeah.
But let's go to our friends at BigBadToyStore.com, which we have no affiliation with. Let's see if they have any figures on sale. Okay, we're going to go to low to high. There we go. We got some Funkos. We got some assorted. We got what I call the kitty figures. They call it Fright Features, but to me, these are geared more towards the little ones, right? But there you go. You can get the Venkman from Wave 1 for $12.64 American. 45% off. There you go. Okay, you want some here's another one, Ray, for $14.94. Or hey, do you want the glow in the dark slimed versions of them for $15.39 a piece? 45% off. There you go. Let me see what else do we have here. The RGBs, they're a little bit of a smaller scale than 6-inch. So some of the other ones, okay, here we have, well, this is older Ray. And I think some of the other ones, okay, we have Slimed Winston for 20% off, $22.39, but that's still pretty good. You want Gozer?
I have the Gozer.
Okay. I'm sure you do. But, I mean, I know you don't have Ollies there, but plenty of YouTubers here in the States who can probably check their local Ross, their local Ollies to see if they can scrounge up those figures for you if you ever needed to. But you saw you can get a couple of those figures for your Ecto-1. Okay. And that, because what the great thing about this is we already know for certain. Okay, here you go. $100 and you can get the whole wave here. So that's 6 figures. This is the Afterlife wave. And you get to build the Guardian Terror Dog here. They call it the Sentinel. I call it the Guardian. But that's 6 figures. Usually the figures were what, $25 a piece. So this would be $150. It's down to $99. Not bad. So that's always something to do. And these are great figures. I love how they aged all the characters, and they did a great job with them. So I mean, if you say you don't have the figures, that's always something you can do. But the great thing about the deluxe is we get the expansion, so we can turn the Ecto into Ecto 1A. We get the 4 now. How many figures do we get, people? How many?
You get 4, but if it if it reaches its backing, you get 5, don't you?
No, let's do our math. Okay, we all know if you're Black Series, if you're a Star Wars Black Series collector, they will sell droids no matter what the size. as a separate figure, will they not? And charge full price just about, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we get the gray ghost or the gray lady, which
yeah.
is the librarian ghost. Okay, we get Slimer, which is a separate figure, and they both have floating stands for themselves. Then we get the 4 guys. Well, that's 6 right there. And if we hit 12,000 within the 2-week mark, we also get Lewis Tully. That's 7 figures. That is 7 figures to go. 7 6-inch figures, mind you. This isn't no 3 3/4. That is 7 6-inch figures to go with your vehicle. And you're getting all those figures, with the exception of Lewis, unless we don't fund it, right? So you're getting at least 6 figures for the price of $75. You figure $25 per figure on average, right? We're getting the 4 guys. That's $100 value right there for only $75 more.
Yeah.
But that's not all. I mean, we are getting the 4 guys here, right? Plus, we get the 2 slime blowers. We get their 4 packs. We get a slime blower effect for the slime blowers. And, of course, we get the particle streams for the 4 guys. Okay? Of course, we have the gurney. We have the roof that we can swap this between Ecto 1A and Ecto 1. And, of course, the hubcaps that we can change out the wheels. Now, we also know for a fact, this was said during the various live streams in New York City Comic Con, talking about this. Geek Dad Life interviewed several of the or at least one of the engineers behind the whole process. The decals, they will be decals, not stickers, and the decals will be reapplicable, but not indefinite. You'll probably be able to swap it a couple times over, and that's about it. Now, we don't know exactly how that's going to work. I know a lot of people out there have been talking like, hey, what about magnets? This is not diecast. If it was diecast, we'd be showing out a lot more money for that, folks. Yeah. So this is going to be all plastic. So that's why you have to. I don't know if it's going to be like a rubber cling. We don't know yet. There's a lot of stuff we don't know yet. So let's take a look at this. Rolando's saying, "How was your 13th birthday, Peaky?"
My birthday was good, thank you, Rolando.
And how old are you now? You're in your
31,
30s, right? Huh? 31.
31.
Okay. Yep. And on a day over 15, right?
I know.
But Rolando threw in the link to Big Bag Toy Store. Thank you very much. Ultra Carterzilla says the little kids want their figures more articulated. And growing up in 2000s, we had Star Wars 30th Anniversary and Legacy collections, and they had more articulation and were our kids' toys in 2000s. More articulation than the 70s and 80s, yes. I mean, everything's way better than we had in 70s and 80s for the most part.
Yeah.
As far as posability, I mean, we didn't have 6-inch as an option. It was 3 3/4 pretty much for everything. As a child of the 80s, that's where I am. Yeah, I wish they did elbows and knee pads on Star Wars Retro. There you go.
I got a question for you, Dave, with the
Yes.
with the Ecto one. How are you going to have it displayed?
Well, let's see if I can angle this camera around.
This is the way he turns around and says that he's going to have 2 of them.
Okay, let's smooth this right. I'm going to have to switch this. So, let me just pull this off the stream here. We're going to switch over to this. Come on. There we go. So, I'll move the camera around. You can see some of the dimension right here. And if you notice, let me see if I can angle this. See, there's a firehouse right there with a bunch of figures.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to move those figures out of the way, and we're probably going to put the car right there or maybe adjacent to it. I do plan.
Is that the Diamond Selects?
Oh, no. That is courtesy of Duffman's Diorama. That is handmade.
Oh, right. I know, because you can get
everything's held by magnet there. He even made these the Ghostbusters sign right there.
Oh wow.
Let me see if I can angle. Trying to do this looking at the computer and not at the item.
Yeah.
He made that sign out of some cookie cutters. The man is that damn good. So it really does say Hook and Ladder 8. It's probably one of my favorite items I have. and it's complete. It's so lightweight. Now, if you notice, I have these garage shelving units here. I'm actually going to do the rest and replace the bookshelves behind me with those. And if you see, I got a ton of light on here.
Yeah,
so,
I remember you saying that you was starting that project.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't finish it like some people do, but I think this is perfectly fine. If you notice, I got my row of Hot Toys. We got G.I. Joe, Marvel. We got Spider-Man. One shelf just for Spider-Man. So yeah, in the process of changing a lot of things up.
You've inspired me to when I change this room in about a year and a half. This will be fully just collection room. This won't be my bedroom and collections room. This will be office and collections. You've inspired me to do the similar thing with all my Megazords.
Well, there's a lot of people now. Let me just. I guess I gotta go back and do this now. Let's go ahead and switch this back. Hide that on stream. Put that back on stream. So I don't know how well you can see. I have my Lego gauntlets, the Infinity Gauntlet, the Nano Gauntlets, Wolverine's Claw, but I also have my Megazord all the way up there.
Yeah,
that is the.
I see it in the back.
That's the Hasbro one. That the Zap Megazord, the Zord Ascension Project, and don't hate me, but I think I might be selling it.
I'm not gonna hate you for it. I don't like the Zap Megazord, so I don't hate you for it.
I mean, for me, it's the best Megazord I've ever had in my hand. Okay, but I think for what it is still a bit overpriced. And honestly, I've been appreciating these Super 7 Ultimates way better than I have, because I like their Dragon Zord. I like their Tyrannosaurus Rex Zord. The T-Rex sword. Those are phenomenal. I love them. I love how they feel durable. They feel like a proper statue, like a high quality statue. Whereas this stuff, it feels light. I like that they have like the nice polished look on the plastic, but it feels like it's lacking something, if that makes any sense. And the same thing for the Dragon Zord that I have over on the shelf here, because its effects aren't that great, but Super 7 can do a slightly smaller scale Dragon Zord, but they can have it where the rockets coming out of the fingertips are going in different directions. I mean, they blew out Hasbro in that respect for something that is way cheaper. I mean, it's not even half the price. It's like maybe just under a third of the price of the Zap offering. So I mean, that's the thing. It's like with certain brands, you kind of have to like pick and choose and make decisions. Like recently, I've actually been swapping out some of my Hot Toys and trading them for others. And we're actually going to talk about that a little bit later. But let's get back to this. Everybody and your grandmother, if you're watching this on replay, I want you to get off your butts, go to your computer, go to your phone, download the Hasbro app, and I want you to back this. Okay? I want you to back this.
Yeah.
Why? Because you tell me, do you know anyone that doesn't like Ghostbusters? If you mention Ghostbusters to someone, you get a smile from their face, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even my mum and dad like watching Ghostbusters.
Okay, see? Everyone, okay, like right now we're basically at like 49%, roughly. We're at 5,886 backers. 6,000 would be the halfway mark. Okay, we have the funds. Now. I have no doubt that we will hit this by the deadline, which is 41 days from now. Okay, I have no doubt that we'll hit the deadline.
Do you reckon we'll hit the 14-day deadline for Lewis Tully?
Well, see that's what I'm getting at. We've never had a proper Lewis Tully. I mean, we've had Lewis figures, but to see him in Ghostbusters 2 uniform, I mean, there you go. I mean, this is like the CGI representation, but he comes with a trap, PKE, particle stream, and pack. Yet it says Spengler because if you've seen Ghostbusters 2, we know he suits up in Egon's spare suit that Janine plays dress up with him in. He looks good here. And there were a lot of people who thought that they were going to be 3 3/4 because of the pins. One, these are prototype figures for one. The ending figures may not have pins, but then again, they might. We've seen pinless and pin figures go back and forth in Marvel. Okay, so
Yeah.
at least these are matching colors, not like with a lot of the Spideys, you see a blue pin in the red part of his suit, or vice versa. But I think these look great. I mean, hell, give us a 6-inch. And the fact that here's one thing I want to say this. Look at all the other prototype Haslabs we've had. This is the first time we are shown the figures in full color and the Haslab itself in full color. Usually we see a grayed out version, right?
Yeah.
Prototype mold. We saw that with the Haslab Proton packs, right? We've seen it with just about everything else, but they gave us, I mean, yes, what they had in New York City Comic Con, it wasn't 100% because they are prototypes, people. I know a lot of people on Facebook, all over the internet, are kind of saying like, oh, well, why does this look like this? And why is this? Guys, it's a prototype. They have a year and change to get this dialed in, and I'm sure they're going to get it dialed in a lot sooner than that. Okay? Personally, I say that this is an investment. Okay? This is an investment in your childhood, in fond memories. It's an investment in nostalgia. You can have this car as Ecto 1 or as Ecto 1A, whatever is your preference. I mean, I always love the blue lights of the Ecto 1, so I might be tempted to keep it as Ecto 1, but I'm probably going to do some photography with it as Ecto 1A for posterity, you know?
Yeah, with the figures that you get with it, I might do Ecto 1 because it's the original 4 and Lewis.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards just Ecto 1. But as an unboxing video, I'll throw together Ecto 1A.
You know, basically, right? And see, that's the thing. It's like there's so much greatness in here. Okay. Now, she's going to be a big one. Okay. For those who are in the metric system, we have the centimeters here. But for those of us here in the States, 22.5 inches long, giggity. It's going to be 8 inches wide. If I put her on my desk, this desk I'm streaming on right now, she'll pretty much take up most of the desk. But that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had failed vehicles with Engine of Vengeance. You know, we don't want that. Okay. There's also been a lot of criticism from fans saying, well, why did they do this? I'm a cosplayer. I wanted more equipment. Well, there's not a whole lot more equipment that they can do. And those who say they want a slime blower, with all due respect, it's not practical. Imagine a slime blower, even if it's disassembled, how big the box would be just for the center tube alone. I mean, would be massive.
That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah. I know a person who has a 1-to-1 scale slime blower. It is not something you can put on by yourself. Okay?
Oh, God, no.
They are massive. And I mean, what are you going to do? You're just going to have a few lights. You're going to have some working lights on the back of the slime blower, and that's it. Unless you're going to turn it into a massive super soaker and just spray water at people? I mean, with all honesty, in my opinion, it's not practical. Okay?
No, not at all.
Now, we're doing a Haslab for the 84 packs. That I'm sure is something they've considered doing. But Haslab is making it fresh. They're sending us a message that, hey, for Ghostbuster fans, we're not just thinking of a few props for you. We're thinking of more. And they're giving us more with the option of the Ecto 1 and the Ecto 1A. They're throwing in a full set of figures. That's a full line of figures right there.
Yeah.
You know? And the thing is, this is not the end. Okay? This is what I'm getting at, guys. What do I mean by this is not the end? Okay, we have the guys in their gray suits. We know Hasbro's Latin for repaint. we know that with G.I. Joe, with Transformers, and just about any other line that they ever touch, especially Marvel. But they could do the guys in the khaki suits, like when they take on Vigo at the end. They could do that as a separate wave. Have the guys individually, and maybe you have Vigo, or you have the Vigo possessed Ray as a Build-A-Figure. I mean, there's a lot of different things you could do. A lot of people hope that maybe they'll do Ray and they'll have like they'll actually release like a head swap that you can do. So he could be Vigo possessed Ray, you know? There's a lot of different things we could do. There's a lot of ghosts. What if they did, and hear me out, what if they did a really different, what if they did a Build-A-Figure for one of the Scolari brothers and maybe the bigger one, and then they released the skinny Scolari brother as a 5th figure for that Build-A-Figure wave? There's a lot they can do. They could do the Judge. They could do, of course, Dana. They could do Janine. We haven't had a Janine figure. Not a live action Janine figure ever. That's one thing to be said. With the real Ghostbuster, the Kenner reissues, we haven't gotten into Janine, which is kind of weird. I don't know if it's a rights issue, but who knows? But the thing is, you can go with Ghostbusters 2, and I know a lot of people are kind of divided. They think like, obviously Ghostbusters 1 is one of the top ones. Afterlife comes in a very quick second. Some people think Frozen Empire comes in, and then maybe Ghostbusters 2. But I know people who love Ghostbusters 2 up and down the damn street all day long. But there's so many figures you could do from there. You could do the ghost that kidnaps Oscar. I mean, you could have Dana and Oscar. You can have the killer tub. There's so many different things you could do. There's a lot of ghosts we had in Ghostbusters 2. The Jogger Ghost.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much you can do. Literally, it's endless out there if you really think about it. So they could easily do a Ghostbusters 2 wave, and they could even bring back some stuff from Ghostbusters 1. Personally, I would love to see them do the guys in their civilian clothing in the courtroom. You know, you could have Ray, Winston, not Winston, but Ray, Venkman, and Egon. You could have the 3 of them, and you could have the Judge. That's your 4th, right? And maybe a 5th figure. You know, we could throw in Lewis there. You know, we could throw Lewis as the lawyer, and we could have those 5 with the Build-A-Figure of one of the Scolari, or maybe one of the other Scolari brothers or something. There's a lot of different things we can do here. There's a lot Hasbro can do to stretch that wave out.
In that Ghostbusters 2 line, they could do when they're digging into the street and raising the yellow raincoat
when they're pretending to work for like Con Ed or something. Yeah.
Get a fully fledged slimed Ray in there.
Well, I mean, you could do that, or you can get slimed versions of Winston, Ray, and Egon when they're all decked out in the yellow the yellow outfits. You can do a slimed version of that and make it so it's reactive, so it glows in the dark, similar to what they did with Wave 1 with Ghostbusters 1 figures. That's something you could easily do. Okay, there's so many different variations that they can play around with, and it would sell because we haven't had those. Now, we did have Ghostbusters 2 figures from both Mattel and Diamond Select, but that's about it. I have the Maddie Collector figures, the Mattel ones. I have the guys from the courtroom scene in Ghostbusters 2, and I also have the 3 of them from the commercial Ghostbusters 1. So I have those. Well, no, I am missing Venkman. I still have to get Venkman at some point. But I mean, those figures came out like the early 2000s. It's been a long time. Ghostbuster fans, we have been, we've been starving for some good figures. So, and I was saying for a long time, it's going to be a hard sell to sell a vehicle if there's no active line. They showed us that the line is not dead; it is active. Because I mean, they kept this quiet that there were going to be figures with this. I mean, that was a pretty damn good surprise right there. And you have all the working lights here. And the great thing about this, power-wise, is guess what? You can run it on AA batteries, or there's a USB port, a USB-C, USB Type-C. So you could run a wire to, let's say you have it on a bookshelf or some kind of display case, right? You can run a white wire from underneath the Ecto, run it through your bookcase or through whatever crevice you might have, cavity you have in your display case, and plug it into like a USB power strip of some kind, and you can have it running consistently nonstop with your display collection. Now, for a collector, to have something like that running in the background is going to look fantastic. For someone who's a big Ghostbusters fan, I have the Kenner Ecto 1. I have that. I love it. Okay, I love the original Ecto. I have one from '84 that a friend of mine restored. It sits on my shelf. It is missing one or two pieces. I could easily 3D print those pieces, but I love that. And I even have the Kenner reissue still sealed in a box. I might do that as a giveaway in the future. But really, we're so close. We are almost at 6,000. We're almost halfway there after just a few days. So, I mean, like you said here, 4 AA batteries right here, or USB-C port for always on display option. When have we been given an option like that for any past Haslabs? Engine Inventions didn't have anything like that. That's for sure. So, I mean, they're bringing up new technology. We have the light bars, and those who've seen the videos, seen the light bars, they look friggin' amazing. They look just beyond. So, I mean, if anyone out there, if you're a big Ghostbusters fan, or you're just a fan of nostalgia from the 80s, this is a must have. These lights, this is not trick photography. These are LED lights right here. I mean, will they be as bright? You can see some of the videos. We have a light up radio, and from what the interviewers have all said, that the dome light inside the Ecto is going to be actually this color when they're done. So it's going to be more that yellow and not that pure white, which gives a little bit more realism, especially since this is supposed to be a 59 Caddy after all. Okay. So it's supposed to be a 59 Caddy after all. So, I mean, there's that right there. Okay. I love that we actually get the engine compartment so we can actually open up the hood. We can take a look at her. She's going to look fantastic, I mean, everything. Here's the full gallery right here. I mean, come on, take a look at that right there. This looks like it was grabbed from the movie. I mean, we get a nice polished finish on the plastic. We don't know how well that plastic's going to be. Will it leave smudges? We don't know. Not yet, anyways. But this looks like pretty damn well polished, if you ask me. I love that we have the tints on the windows here. Now, I don't know if those are going to be decals. We'll have to apply ourselves. There you go. You got the radio, the engine. Obviously, this is a CGI representation of it right there. Digital render final product may vary, so we might see different colorations here, but I think this looks fantastic. So you're going to have a separate roof rack that goes on top here, okay? So obviously it looks like this, from like this section here up to here, is going to just completely come off, and we'll be able to swap out those components right there. Now, I don't know where the USB port is going to be. I would like to think it's going to be somewhere underneath the car,
Yeah.
And maybe there's going to be some kind of a metal connector or plug that connects this right here, So that's what I'm wondering about right there. So who knows? We'll find out eventually. I love that we have peg ports here, so we can have one of the guys standing on the back of the Ecto if we wanted, like they're unloading. We have 2 ports right there, right? Now, obviously, this bumper is going to clip off, and you can have the regular bumper on there. Of course, we got the GB2 logo here, the call JL5-2020, which was the phone number, the hazard striping. I'm a fan of hazard striping personally. I've done that on a lot of my packs, so I dig that. Now, this is not LED, okay? This is not like a dot matrix board. It's not a scrolling marquee, but they give us slides that go into there. So you're just going to have like a backlit board here, and then you can swap out. You're going to have several slides you can swap out where it says Ghostbusters, like it's transitioning. One where it just says Ghostbusters, one that says for hire, we're back. So we have different ones to play with. Look at this. We get 1, 2, 3, all 4 fit in the Ecto. And that's with the gurney and the equipment. That to me that's a home run. I was not expecting to be able to get all 4 in there, but we can, guys. And they look good here. We
That's
even
a
have
Sega on its own.
yeah, and we have the little CB radio with the mic hanging just like it does in the movie right here. I mean, we can see everything just pegs in like we have the decals for the actual lights. I mean, everything looks fantastic here. Even though these are prototype figures and this is a prototype vehicle, tell me it doesn't look damn good. I mean,
it looks amazing.
Look at this. We have the grooves for when the gurney slides in with the packs. We have all the equipment left and right here. We have the little fold down seat right there. I mean, again, now there might be slight variations with this. Like maybe we have more lights here or something. Who knows? But I think everything looks great. There we go. Like we said, the whole roof is going to come off. Right there. So that shows you everything here. The doors do not pop off. It would be like a decal that you remove and you reapply. But to me right here, this right here gets me. Okay. Do you know how much I love this image? Peaky? I'm going to let you know how good I love this image. We're going to go to my Facebook. Okay.
Damn.
I made that my timeline wallpaper. That's how much I love this image here. And this is actually the leaked image. This isn't the high res one from the Hasbro site. So I mean, that tells you like it looks fantastic. I love the look of this. I mean, just see the bright blue lights is what does it for me for the Ecto one. But to get but for $75, you get the option of Ecto 1A. You get all the figures. It's kind of a no-brainer. And hypothetically speaking, let's say you have it as Ecto 1. And let's say a couple years down the line, the lights start to fail. Either you have to have a friend who's good with electrical, play around with it, see if they can replace the LED, or you just convert the entire Ecto into a 1A and use that roof rack for the next several years.
Yeah.
So you're prolonging the life of this item. You know, having that option, it opens a whole world of possibilities. I mean, come on. You got the Ecto logo right there. I mean, even the clamps here that go on the side. Now, yes, I've seen some people on social media complain about this being all blue, that these should be silver strips right here. This is a prototype, people. This is a prototype.
Yeah.
But look, we got the antenna here. We got the little oxygen tanks right here. We got the sniffer right here, because we got the sniffer, the radar dome. Everything looks great. I mean, we have lights. We have lights for the headlights, the lower lights, and also the front strobes. I mean, I don't know what more do people want. I mean, $324.99, you get the base Ecto, but for $75 more, you're getting the Ecto 1A. You're getting both vehicles. You can swap back and forth between them, not indefinitely, but limited. Nothing lasts forever. But as a collector, you're going to have those options. Okay. Now, personally, I would like to see them make the caution strip here, make the yellow portions reflective.
Yeah. That
would add a little bit extra, but I'll be honest, the original ones weren't exactly that. I mean, yes, and so I saw someone post the strip on the lower part of the door is yellow, but the other one is like more of a darker one. No, that's how it looked in the movie, guys. Go back and watch Ghostbusters 2. It's on digital and Blu-ray. Go ahead and do a rewatch party. It is Halloween after all, right? Halloween time. But even the Ghostbusters 2 rack, the radar dome is yellow, which is screen accurate. We got the larger dish here. We have the regular dish emitters here. We have the oxygen tanks. We have everything here. All these lights. You have the lower lights here, the lower light bar, the higher light bar. Those are 2 sets of light bars right there. You have the 2 spotlights right there. You have the same matching ones on the back. And then we have this. I mean, I think they said like, it's like, I forgot how, like, it was like a couple hundred LEDs in the entire unit itself. But guys, anyone who's out there, I strongly urge you to back this. Okay. One, and this is something I don't condone usually, but I'm going to put this out there. This is an investment. Okay. If you're a Ghostbusters fan, get it. You're going to love it. You're not going to be disappointed. 2, if you're not a Ghostbusters fan, but you're a collector and you think this is going to be a great item to flip, it will be. There are people who are still trying to get the die-cast Hot Wheels 1/18 scale. I would love to get my hands on one of those, but they're expensive. They're a couple hundred, and that's die-cast. Okay.
Yeah.
The proton packs. People are still going on eBay looking for the proton packs. Let me put this back up here. Go to eBay. Let's go to everyone's favorite place to go and shop and pay overpriced, right? Let's say Haslab proton pack. Let's see how much. And by the way, the proton pack was about the same price, $400. Okay. Okay, here we go. People are selling the proton pack for $1,200, $1,350, $1,000, $1,250, $1,150. You know, we have people $1,400, $1,500. This was an item that sold for $400. Okay, so for $400 originally, and they're tripling the price. In some cases, 15 right here. We have almost quadrupled the price point. That's the thing. And by the way, we have another guest. There he is. Wait. Is that the new place?
That is the new place. Oh wait. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. I literally just set up everything like right now.
Oh, for us. No, I'm not kidding.
Dedication.
We have a nerd affiliated exclusive right now. The new Spook Central of the Nerd Busters.
And what's up, Peaky? Can't believe you're up at 2 a.m.
Well, almost 3 now.
I woke up at 2 a.m.
But I'm
fine.
I'm trying to do my due diligence to push this Ecto.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody wants to push a 59 caddy, but you know, I wouldn't mind pushing that 59 caddy. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, again, I mean, even for the flippers, and I'm not a fan. Respectfully, I understand everyone's got their hustle, right? But even if you buy this or you buy a couple, you can keep one for yourself. You potentially could flip it if that's your thing, if that is your thing, and you'll pay for it a couple times over. I mean, the Proton Pack, this was what, 3 years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 2.5, and they're they're still selling for like, you know, anywhere between 1,000 to 1,500.
I mean, that is the Frozen Empire effect. I mean, there was a period of time where they were kind of just sitting, and then when Frozen Empire came out, they boosted up in price again. But
because you could easily swap out certain parts for modding it, and they, you know, thankfully they made the pack in mind with that. But I mean, like I was saying with Topeki with the Ecto, let's say you have her as Ecto 1A for a couple of years, right? And maybe some of the LEDs start to fade out, especially if you're running her nonstop, right?
Yeah.
Well, you could always then swap her over to Ecto 1A or Ecto 1 or vice versa. So I think that is kind of, in a way, future-proofing the vehicle itself, in a way. I love that they have a USB Type-C power option, so we don't have to keep charging batteries or swapping them out or worry about corrosion. I saw Geek Dad Life's video about it, and that's one thing that, you know, one of the creators The gentleman we spoke to, I want to say, what was his name? Jeremy?
Maybe.
Or it might not have been.
Zach is the
Zach.
electrician.
Yeah, it was Zach.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
it was the guy we both spoke to on GB Day.
Oh,
and he said that
So
the
Zach,
one of the things that they wanted in mind was they didn't want it to be something where the connections corrode because of the batteries.
Mhm.
So they give us the USB power option. I love that because you can just get a really long white USB cord and plug it into an outlet or a power strip, or because most power strips now have USB ports on them.
Yeah.
So you can just have that running and it's going to look fantastic, especially, I'm sure you're not going to be running it all the time. I mean, me, I usually put lights on if I'm recording or something for a nice, good lighting effect in here.
Mhm.
But I mean, even if you are running it, I mean, it's going to look fantastic.
Yeah.
It's going to look
So I've
hella
got
amazing.
my small Ghostbusters collection is outside of my room on a display unit. I've got a hole in the wall where my Ethernet cables run through, so I can easily get a really long USB lead extender and link it to my.
I mean,
link it to my setup here.
You can link it to your computer. There's so much you can do with it. Judge Dreads, welcome to the stream, saying he just ordered a Batmobile for $100 with lights and sounds that looks cooler. That looks cooler than a station wagon. Well, cooler than a station wagon, sure, but this is a hearse and an ambulance, so you can carry more than the mom's and groceries in this. You can carry slime blowers. You can carry unlicensed nuclear accelerators in this bad boy.
Well, I wanted to
help. It helps bust ghosts.
Yeah, I wanted to say publicly that I was wrong on the price. I did not think it was possible they can make it lower than $500 on a good day. But I tell you, the Ghostbusters team is the only one over there, and I guess GI Joe, because some of them go back and forth. But the only team where I'm like, wow, they legit seem to do. I mean, fans in mind first.
Realistically, I was hoping maybe for like Ray and Winston as like stretch goals. That was my hope.
Right.
But Left Coast Graphics, Rick, I messaged him when they announced it on Friday. I was like, I will never have a doubt in you ever again. He comes out with some pretty far-fetched theories, but he nailed it with a regular and a deluxe option. There's no stretch goals, and the fact that they gave us, I mean, if we meet the goal for Lewis, and I pray that we do, that's 7 figures. No worries of having to reach a stretch goal either.
Wait,
and I think that's amazing.
There's no stretch goals at all.
Well, nothing that's been mentioned. Plus, in the past, they would have like something shadowed out.
True. Yeah.
And there's nothing mentioned here. I mean, I don't think they're going to give you a life-size statue to kind of hold it up and prop it like this.
No. Oh yeah, no, they are. No, they're going to send a for everybody that backs it. They're sending a Hasbro employee to stand there.
Gray Lady looks friggin' fantastic here. Now, obviously, they have this has to be a light effect, but I could easily see someone getting like a little LED light and running like a thin wire to make her glow. And I think that would look great. I mean, in the lighting here, she looks fantastic. Slimer looks good. It would have been cool. I would have liked if part of him was a little translucent.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, he looks great here. I mean, in the pictures here, I mean, if you have like a little LED lights, a little puck light underneath him, he'll look great. It looks like he has some posability with the arms, slightly. Now this is a digital render here, but still the stands look great. Giving like a transparent stand, I think it looks great in my opinion.
Yeah.
Obviously, this disconnects from the bottom here, and I'm wondering if there's a purpose for that, or is that just like connecting him to the stand, or disconnecting from the stand? I don't know, or it just could be because this is a prototype. But we do have a bit of a groove here, so that'd be interesting to see. Will he have storage maybe for a pizza or a hot dog? Who knows?
I have to make a confession.
Oh no.
Father David is here for your confession.
I'm not back yet.
And I understand. Listen, you just moved.
Yes.
And I know that you have a lot of stuff in storage.
Yes.
And let's be honest, in all due respect, all honesty, it is, we're approaching the holidays.
Yep.
I mean, you just had your honeymoon trip. You also just did New York City Comic Con.
Yep.
So I understand that, maybe, budgetary concerns.
Yeah.
That it's, it may not be feasible. I get that because
it's fine.
For me,
Dave will get you yours.
I heard Peaky was going to do it. I mean, he's the #1 streamer in the UK, right?
That's true.
Well, no, God no.
Well, he's the #1 streamer in his building.
Well, I will say part of it was ruined by what was it earlier? Oh, Judge Dredd's was saying. So because of the McFarlane like $100, $89 figures or vehicles, I grabbed a couple of them. And now
he said he rides in Audis, not the caddies. Yeah. Understandable. I've ridden in a 59 caddy. Trust me, those turns, no joke. Rick says Slimer has trademark butt crack.
Yeah, he has the booty.
He's got to have that excellent the booty.
But what I was going to say was because of the $100 price point of those, and me building a collection of vehicles, I now know space. I don't have space even to display what I already have. So this, trust me, this is everything I wanted.
There's an Archer sale in the future.
Maybe, but I mean, this vehicle, as far as like, if I was to
because
when I talked about it with you, talked about it in my live stream,
she's almost 23 inches.
It hit all the bells and whistles this thing needed to be in order for me to say this is a good value. But I just think at this point for me, it's a no-go.
I mean, you go. I mean, it's 8 inches wide.
Yeah.
22.5 inches long and 11.2 inches high. It's almost the length of a ruler as far as the height.
Yeah. But I think because there's been so many vehicles coming out, that's why it hasn't backed yet. Everything else was backed in like 48 hours. So my concern is this thing. I think it's going to back because at this point it's almost at 50%.
I mean,
but I don't know if the Tully is going to happen. That's
I mean, who knows? I mean, my hope is because we're inching towards the, we debuted this last Friday. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking maybe collectors, for some, it may take a week or a week and a half, or maybe still 2 weeks to try and get the funds, because maybe they want to say, hey, I want to make sure I have the money that I can actually pull this off to begin with.
And to be clear, in case people don't know by now, you don't need the funds at the moment.
No,
you don't get
they will charge once the end of campaign. So that's going to be December, if I'm correct.
12th or something like that.
Something like that. Because I mean, we have 41 days left.
Yeah.
So you're probably talking, you're going to talk like the end of November, like the first, I think it's the first week of December, like December 4th or something like that. Some weird number like that. But I mean, especially if you're a Ghostbusters 2 fan, you get those Ghostbusters 2 figures.
Somebody did make a good point about those figures, though. Articulated Ninja. I was watching his video. It got suggested to me. And he was saying how it's kind of BS that they just repainted the old Plasma Series figures. Head sculpts are new.
Yeah, head sculpts are new, but
the pin figures, it's the same ones from before. I don't think that's a big a deal. I think if anything, that's what helped them have them at the event, because they weren't at Comic-Con. They were like at a showing of Comic-Con.
Yes.
Like you couldn't see them on the floor.
No, they had like a special Hasbro breakfast thing for creators and other outlets
deemed worthy influencers.
Yeah,
but all that to say, I think it's fine. I like the fact that they have these figures. I'm still going with my original theory that they will release these in khaki, and that's going to be a standard release.
Repaint City, of course, it's Hasbro.
Yeah,
standard operating procedure. We know this.
But overall,
by the way, 40. Go on, Archer.
Oh no, you're good. Go ahead.
41 days from now is December 3rd.
The third. Okay.
There you go.
I think that overall, I think it's a great value. I think if you were to buy the two, I think it's dumb to not get the deluxe. In a way, you save more money getting deluxe because you probably were going to buy those 4 figures anyway, and you're getting the slime blowers as well.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of collectors are at the point where they're just like, I don't have the space now. Like
Well,
I said,
yeah, with all the McFarlane tumblers out there, right?
Yeah, you have the tumblers and all that, and then hey, maybe you just backed, maybe just cross, collecting where somebody had backed Dragon Man, or they're like, oh, the
Yeah.
Sentinel looks pretty sweet. So Hasbro's also dropping a lot of high ticket items at the same exact time,
Which
is a
they love
separate
to do
problem
around this
too.
time of year, because when they did the Haslab
Yeah.
Proton Pack, they had three other Haslabs,
We had
technically not perfectly running parallel, but there was a certain
Pretty
time
close.
frame where they were all within the same. They were all still active or actively campaigning, and that killed a lot. That was hurting a lot of people.
you have the
I mean-
Jurassic Park Mattel, you had the Nitro stage, you had Giant Man, and I think Cat's Lair were all the same time.
Or it might have been a Thunder Tank, possibly. I'm not sure.
Thunder Tank maybe during the Hasbro
The Proton
Pack.
Yeah.
But I mean outside of Ghostbusters, there was like 4 crowdfunds at once, happening.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely something. Mike Davis is in the chat. Let me pull up Mike. Mondo RGB pre-order is right around the corner. Makes it a hard decision to pull the trigger on the Haslab. Yeah, I get
This
that.
release kills that. This release, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. There's no way somebody could look at the Mondo figures now and say, who was it? Extra Plasm said it. He was like, there's no way you're going to convince me to spend $200 something on 2 figures when I can just buy this, all of that for the same price as all 4 of your busters. No way.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, and don't get me wrong, the Mondo figures, they look great. I've said this dozens of times. They looked amazing. But how long have we waited for a 1/12 scale Ecto that figures fit into?
Yeah.
Lights and sound, and we have the option to swap them out. I mean, this is just like, it's that meme when you see Fry from Futurama, here, take my money. That's what it is. But like you said, there's so many different. I mean, I just saw people posting about the buying the tumbler, the desert camo version of the tumbler from Batman Batman Begins. And that's the thing. It's like there's so many different vehicles out there. You kind of have to pick and choose. And like you said, you moved. You don't have the real estate for what you already have right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like with me, would I love to have vehicles? Sure. This Ecto, this is kind of like the first time we're getting a movie accurate one that's within my budget. Because we're not even going to talk about Blitzway.
Yeah.
I know people who have that. Bless them 100% over. But like for me, it's like here's the thing. This is going to be the third Haslab I've backed. And yes, all 3 are Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I mean, some people are like, oh, well, that's not a shocker. Trust me, there are other Haslabs I would have loved to have gone in on. I mean, the Sentinel I would have loved. Because, I mean, I am an X-Men fan. I mean, I've been building my X-Men collection. Now, with this more budget one, 174, am I going to go in on it? No, because he's still tall. He's like 22 inches, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The 97 one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's still a big one,
Yeah,
but
I've done 2 of those.
But I also have a 3D printer. I could 3D print the head and use it as like a diorama piece and have Wolverine standing right next to it. I mean, there's other options that people can do.
That's the one that I'm pissed off about because I've been asking for that on various live streams. I've talked about that, how, that's a Sentinel that we should have always had.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I saw it in person. That was one of the few things in person that they had.
Were you impressed by it at all?
No. Now,
Okay.
well, all right. Let me stand corrected. I see you have the Phoenix in your hand, by the way. But yeah.
Yes, I do.
So I will say this. In person, it is an impressive overall figure, right? But
Yes.
we're at a point now where we don't need everything to be almost a Haslab. That Sentinel is a figure that needs to be army built. It is not something where it's a one-off, you buy it and you're good. You need more than one. So the fact that they wanted to give it, good articulation and all that, to me is pointless. The main objective should have been low price point so that people are enticed to buy multiple. Are they going to buy multiple? I don't know. Those numbers won't get released because Marvel Legends is kind of taking a break from HasLab this year. So
yeah,
there's that. But I feel like that could have been a super basic 12-inch figure, 22-inch figure that does the bare minimum and could have been $75 to $100.
Now, speaking of army building, a friend of mine actually sent me this picture. He says, I'm going to army build. So he's buying this. He's going to buy a bunch of these.
Wait,
and then he's going to use the Sentinel as master mold.
Oh, 1,000%. That's the idea with even the new ones coming out. I was like, you
buy these,
the master mold. Yeah,
you buy a bunch of these, and you use the other one as a master mold, and Bob's your uncle. There you go.
Yeah. I mean it's cool. Like,
it's a way to go.
When I saw it and I was looking at it, I took some pictures. I'll post them on this week. Like, you guys have all seen pictures anyway in the videos of it.
Yes,
but it does look good, and I'm not going to say it looks cheap by any stretch. And I think that at 175, that is fair for something like what I saw. I think maybe closer to 150, 125, but I feel like 175 isn't crazy. But what is crazy is that the purpose of that, and that is to army build. And
now, let me ask you
kind
this.
of preventing you from doing that.
Let me ask you this. We have a slightly scaled version of the Sentinel, right? It doesn't have all the bells and whistles, electronics, maybe doesn't have all the articulation that the other one did, right?
The new one.
Does this open up the door for the same treatment for Galactus? The same treatment for Ant-Man or Giant Man, rather?
Maybe you get a variant, but I don't think so. I saw a video about that where somebody was like, "Oh, this means now we're going to get dumbed down versions of previous HasLabs," which I think we've all agreed we want that for the Proton Pack. We want a dumbed down base version that you can customize.
Put your own electronics in, yeah,
exactly. But I think for this one, it's what we wanted, which I'm grateful for in that sense that they listened to that aspect. But the execution's off. Like, it should be with the intention of army building it, and at that price point,
army building
getting two, I think, is going to be common. I think people will get maybe two, but they should have been like, hey, let's try to get people to buy like 4. Let's get not just go for a single danger room shot where they're all going at 1, but like
Mike says, spirit versions.
Down.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, they can even do that with defective proton packs. You just sell the shells, and people will buy it up. I mean, do kind of Mac Factory. But yeah, I mean, I really want to help push this as much as possible. I mean, I will be backing it, obviously,
of course.
But
most people should.
To me, I mean, as a massive Ghostbusters fan, I kind of have to. But I also don't have vehicles all over the place.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I have 2 Joe vehicles. A friend of mine asked me this week if I was interested in taking one of their, like, buying one of their vehicles.
Sky
I'm like, huh? No, another one of the Jeeps.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, well, I already have one of each. I got the Jeeps because I had the Jeep as a kid, so that was kind of the reason why I went with that. But I don't have a lot of space for the vehicles. So I'm picking and choosing. I have that lower shelf here that had the firehouse facade made by Duffman's Diorama, and I plan on possibly putting the Ecto there, but I may have to put it right next to it. for space wise. But I mean, that I already have that plans in my head. And would I have liked the engine of vengeance? Sure, it's not as big as a caddy. But the Ramen Racer, you have all these options, but you also have to think about, as collectors, you start to run out of space. You kind of have to like, well, what am I going to do? I had my bookcases. I went with the garage shelving because it's deeper and I could fit more figures.
Mm-hmm.
Something that would take up maybe an entire bookcase, I can fit on like maybe 1 or 2 shelves.
Yeah.
So it frees up space. As collectors, we kind of have to think like, what do we have space for? How can we maximize our space? Like with Hot Toys, I want to put like kind of either find a riser or maybe make my own riser. Get a couple blocks of long pieces of wood, get them cut right. Maybe wrap them in like a black felt or a black microfiber sheets, and create risers for it, so I could put more Hot Toys on the same shelf.
Yeah, I have a bunch of those for the 6-inch figures.
Huh? Oh yeah,
for the 6-inch. Yeah, I have them.
Yeah, I bought some of the like the plastic acrylic ones you can get on like
Amazon,
or the plexiglass ones you can get on Amazon. But it's like you have to take a look at your collection and say, okay, what can I do? What can I not do? So by you saying like, okay, I'm actually not going to back it, but you gave us your reason. You have all these other vehicles. So, you kind of have to, before pulling a gun on something like that, you kind of have to say, well, I need to make a choice first. I need to see what I can do. And plus, you just moved into your house.
Yeah.
So it's not like, hey, well, and plus, as far as the Ecto, obviously the Ecto we're not going to be getting it next week or even next month. It'll be probably end of next year at earliest, or I'm going to say early 2026, possibly, depending on how the mass production of the LED lights and everything works out. There could be other issues that they have. We don't know. There could be electrical complications that might push it to, spring of 2026 for all that we know. I mean, take a look at the friggin' Dragonfly. It being pushed back. There's how many different was there like 2 different Joe Haslabs right now? They're in production, I think.
I think you're right. Well, you have the
Rattler, right?
And the Rattler, yeah.
Rattler and the Dragonfly.
Oh, Dragonfly.
So that's the thing. I wouldn't mind a dumbed down version of the Hiss tank. Yeah. But see, that's the thing though. It's like, well, space. As collectors, Dre and I have had plenty of discussions, and we've been having discussions with other collectors where, sometimes you have to choose quantity over quality, or quality over quantity.
Quantity. Yeah. Because
like I've a decent, I've been doing the X-Men 97 and kind of going with some of the other X-Men figures, but it's like I'm also been dipping into Hot Toys because there's so much more quality in it. Your average Hot Toys, if you're buying them secondary on like the Facebook groups, you're looking around anywhere between maybe $150 to $250 on average for your basic one. For the more deluxe ones, you're still going to be looking around $300. And that's how many waves of G.I. Joes. That's how many waves of Marvel. Yeah. That's about 2 or 3 waves of Marvel, right? One wave of Marvel is what, about 125, maybe 140, right? So 2 of those waves, you got yourself almost a deluxe Hot Toy right there.
Yeah.
But at least then you're not going to be complaining, well, the paint app or the eye looks funky on this one. There's, paint app issues. And, I don't like how I can see the pins on this one, or I don't like how this one is posing. With a Hot Toy, they take quality and they dial it up to 11, No, I am not getting 2. I'm getting 1. But I also started to make sure. Well, I started to. I still have my Hot Toys Back to the Future DeLorean in box because I have no space. Yeah, you could pretty much use that as a coffee table right there, the box of it.
Yeah.
I know someone who has the DeLorean, the first DeLorean, in their house, and he showed me a picture. It took up his kitchen counter like there was no tomorrow. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, like with me, it's like I look at the quality that they have for the Hot Toys, and I've actually wheeled and dealed. Archer doesn't know this yet. He's seen the Captain America I scored this weekend. The Captain America when Endgame, when they go back in time and he faces his other self with the Chitauri staff.
Scepter, yeah.
This local shop here called the 80s Toy Shop, we're selling it for I think 146 or something like that. It's complete. I had an $85 credit because I traded some stuff in like a week before. So I had an $85 credit, 15% coupon because my birthday. I wound up paying like $44 for it.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
So that was a home run. Now, I did have Doctor Strange No Way Home. I did a trade.
Oh.
Because one, I really don't have any No Way Home figures.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Infinity War Iron Spider could be construed as a No Way Home figure.
Yeah.
But I did a trade for 2 Hot Toys. We got Ant-Man from Ant-Man and Wasp.
Nice.
So I grabbed that. And this one I've been wanting for a long while.
Oh.
War Machine
nice.
from Iron Man 2.
Nice.
So I got Rhodey. So I got those 2 for that 1 Hot Toy. And
That's
when I
sweet.
bought that Hot Toy off of someone else, I think I only paid like maybe $220 for it.
That's pretty sweet.
So a lot of times I watch the Facebook groups, but that's the thing. I secured 1, and then I was able to spin that around and get 2 more. So I mean, they're old. They are a few years old, but these are ones that I really wanted in my collection. I've always wanted the Rhodey War Machine.
Yeah.
From part 1. That's still probably my favorite War Machine suit.
Do you have a Iron Man right now? I forgot.
No, I don't. No.
Okay.
I do want one though.
Yeah.
But also what I do is one person was trying to trade me a Red Snapper from Iron Man 3. But I always do my research. I watch the reviews. Poor arm. There's almost no arm articulation whatsoever. So it's like, occasionally you want to do like seasonally, like every couple of months, you might want to change a pose to keep your displays a little refreshed, right? And it's like this guy, like he stands up straight and he just lights up. I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah, no thanks. Yeah.
The guy also had a Star-Lord from Guardians 1, but there was some peeling on the back of the coat. I'm like, if it's already peeling, it's just going to continue to peel more. So I passed on it. But but yeah, I got these 2, and War Machine doesn't work with Endgame, but that Ant-Man from Ant-Man and Wasp is the same suit from Endgame, so he can go with my little Endgame collection with Cap and then the other Cap. Although I've talked to a few people. I'm trying to get a Marty McFly for the Cap, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, they got to fly.
Okay, McFly. I see.
Yeah,
see what
exactly.
You did there.
Waiting for the right moment.
Thank you for hopping on, and
I appreciate it.
Anyone who's watching this on Replay Squad, Thursday night, 8:15ish. Are you streaming this week in the new studio? Obviously,
we're back.
You're back in action. And I was teasing this earlier. You're going to be back with plenty of stories from New York City Comic Con.
Yeah, I've come back with foot blisters as well. It was but all worth it.
I loved Anthony's Spider-Man outfit though.
Yeah,
I love that, and I saw he had posted his proton rifle in a few Facebook groups. I'm like, it looks fantastic. I love how it came out. He said, "Well, I didn't 3D print it." No, but you had the vision for it, man. You had the creativity. Just be proud of it.
Yeah, And shout out to Great Scott Prop Shop and Frank and Geek for helping with that as well. So.
Those guys will work with anybody out there. Anyone who has an idea, it doesn't hurt to ask. I've talked to Frank and Geek about some projects I want to work on, and he'll work with you. Yeah. If you need custom lights, he will do the work for you, man. So yeah. But 8:15ish this Thursday, nerd affiliated, El Presidente himself, El Jefe.
I'll see you guys later.
Take care, man.
I'll try and join. I'll try and jump into that stream.
Was it 1 a.m. at that point?
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, but I'll be the new Call of Duty comes out, so I'll be playing that. So
okay,
the new Call of Duty.
I might have it in. Yeah,
I love that.
Duty.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
Take care, man.
See ya.
But yeah, I mean, there are going to be those diehard fans. I mean, Archer is, he's a nerd buster, and that's the thing. You have to think, am I going to have space for this? Will I have space in my collection by that time? I mean, yeah, it's going to be at least a year, if not more, possibly, depending on, how they can mass produce it. I mean, it's great that they spent so much time into perfecting not perfecting, but giving us this prototype. It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
But you also have to say, okay, will I have space in my collection at that point in time? That's something you have to take into account. I mean, yes, you can move things around. You could get different types of cabinets. I'm like the garage shelving that I have here. I'm actually going to go for some deeper ones. When I say deeper, I mean like as far as the real estate from the back of the wall going forward, because I plan to have one where it's gonna house my proton packs and my other equipment. So it's gonna be like my little cubby for my equipment right there, because I got the 2 in a box coming, so I'm gonna have to display the trap and the PKE meter, along with my other Ghostbuster stuff here. I mean, I got a whole shelf. You guys can see that shelf of books I have right there. That's all. I mean, for the most part, that's Ghostbusters, with the exception of some Walking Dead omnibus volumes 1 and 2, but the rest of that stuff is all Ghostbusters books. I have some. You see, I have some space here, so I'm probably going to move some stuff around. But then my other case, you really can't see. There goes my camera. Hold on. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, hold on. We're going to see if I can get my camera back. Gotta love it. Hold on 1 second, guys. I gotta replace my Elgato webcam, but I've just been having a ton of issues with it. Whenever I move it, the wire gets hit and it blanks out.
I use my vlogging camera.
Okay. Yeah, I can use my GoPro, but one, I don't want to overheat it if I'm running for a long period of time. Let me see if I can fix this here. Hold on. Give me just a second. Wow, you can't even see my camera now. Jesus.
He's talking to us from beyond the grave.
From another dimension. What?
He's actually in another dimension.
There you go. Well, there's that. See if I can fix this. There we go.
There we go.
Ta-ta, ta-ta. So I have my whole case with like my Maddie figures there, and I do have my proton pack behind. Well, you can see my printer right here, but other than that, I have like everything's pretty much condensed. I was actually thinking of trying to get rid of some of my ghost traps. I have the popcorn bucket ghost traps.
Yeah.
So I have a few of those, but I'm gonna see if I can just display them somewhere, like on a ceiling or something.
I guess they'd be a bit costly to ship to the UK.
It depends. All depends, because I have the one where it's got the big purple funnel that you can use as the popcorn bucket itself. And then the other one it's a trap that just opens up and you can put popcorn in it. So, but also I have Phoenix. I gotta open her up. I'm probably gonna do an unbox video for her. But what I plan on doing is putting an LED in the bottom of the display at some point, so she looks like her fire is lit up. I think that's like the best way to do it, though.
Yeah.
So, But yeah, I got this bad boy for about $44. So I think I did a pretty good deal right there.
Not bad. It's quite good. Yeah, it's very good.
Well,
There's nowhere near me that sells hot toys.
Well, this one is like these are like people who sold their collections. So that 80s toy shop, this isn't brand new. But I had the upgraded suit Spider-Man from Far From Home. He's actually going to be sold. And also I secured the Iron Strange. It was a concept hot toy that they did, which was in the original movie Infinity War. There was a scene that they were going to write up as Iron Man lends his armor to protect Strange, and he became Iron Strange.
They've done that in the comics a fair few times as well.
I had that hot toy, and I'm actually holding it for a friend. So once they're ready, that's going to be going off to them. So I've been kind of wheeling, dealing hot toys lately. I don't have hot toy money to get like the brand new ones, but
I mean, a lot of them hold their value, so I say go for it.
Oh yeah, I mean like I have Endgame Cap. I'm not going to get rid of that one. It would take something pretty damn amazing to make me get rid of him. I just got Doc Brown. He was on sale for like $192 or $190 something at Sideshow. They did a special 30th anniversary sale. He usually goes for $295. I think $275 or $295, so still a good deal. I have the 10th Doctor from Doctor Who, David Tennant. It's not a hot toy, but it's a 1/6 scale. And I have the hot toy of Grant Gustin as the Flash from the CW TV show.
Oh, nice.
I have Iron Spider and also have Miles Morales. But it's the Miles Morales where he's got street clothes on. But he's got his headphones, he's got his Venom shocking effect, and he's got a backpack with the Bodega cat sticking out with the little Spidey cat mask on. So
yeah,
as a former DJ and a roller skater, he has actually inline skates. So I had to get him. I actually got him at the Nickel CityCon here in Buffalo last June. So, but yeah, I also got my 1/6 scale white and green Rangers from 3-0. So
nice.
Yeah, I've been trying to dip into quality over quantity lately. But speaking of quality, I do want to make a mention, a little shout out, if you will. I want to pull this up right now. Now, you guys hear me talk about how I'm in charity cosplay, part of the Buffalo Ghostbusters. I had a really proud moment this week. We do fundraisers year round, okay? And this year, we got to do, so my teammates got to do something pretty damn amazing. I want to show that off to you guys. Let me just pull this up here. So here we go. Buffalo Ghostbuster page. Pulling it up right now. Yes, we are a 501c3. And the really cool thing was this past year when we did the Ghostbusters Day fundraiser, we actually did it for Tunnel to the Towers, which is a 9/11 foundation. But we actually raised $43,500 for them this year. So,
wow.
A couple of our teammates, Dan and Chris Burns, Dan Lieberg and Chris Burns of Buffalo Ghostbusters, drove down to New York City to Hook and Ladder 8 to do a presentation of the check. So we raised Tunnel to the Towers Foundation. We raised $43,500. So that was a very proud moment that we could help make a difference like that, and that's because of amazing fans out there, amazing Ghostbusters. Just because that's what Ghostbusters is about. When there's something going on, you need help. Always there to step up. So there we are. There they are at the Hook and Ladder 8, and just. It's making those differences, and obviously the fire department appreciates it right there. these are the gentlemen of Hook and Ladder 8, gentlemen and ladies of Hook and Ladder 8. Sorry, gentlemen and ladies of Hook and Ladder 8, because a lot of people forget the firehouse is a functional firehouse. It's a real fire department that goes on fire calls all day long. So, but yeah, seeing this it's just awesome. Seeing the guys here, and everyone there at the firehouse, they're just amazing. They're just beyond awesome because they partner with us year round. Of course, we already have saved the date for this year, June 7th, 2025, 12 p.m. That's going to be the Ghostbusters Day for this year. So if anyone who's interested, and also people from across all over the world, Italy, France, Colombia, they come all over to come hang out and to celebrate Ghostbusters. So it's always a great time. So come on down, guys. The event does not cost anything. Of course, you're paying your own expenses to get there and for wherever you're going to stay accommodation wise, but it's a free event. Kids, hell, we had a guy last year who was carrying around his dog on his back. It was like 80 or 90 degrees, so it was hot out there. But anyone and everyone comes out. It's a great time. But I just wanted to shout out my teammates here because, and it is a team. To throw everything together to make that happen was just amazing. So it's I see something like this and it's a proud moment to think that we raised $43.5 for this charity this past year, was just amazing. And it was the 40th anniversary. It really made a major difference. So big shout out to everyone involved, the men and women, of course, of Hook and Ladder 8, Dan and my fellow teammates, Buffalo Ghostbusters. They really put themselves out there, coming up with ideas and different promotions we can do to help raise awareness. So that was very, very awesome. If you guys want to check this out, you can look up the Buffalo Ghostbusters on Facebook, or even just go to buffaloghostbusters.com. Yes, we have our own website. You'll find all of our links there if you want to donate to any of our charities. Our main charity is Toys for Tots. You can donate through PayPal, Venmo. We also have the Ghostbusters franchise playing cards. We have a TeePublic site. We have, of course, our Facebook link, Instagram, Twitter, or if you're local to New York State, Western New York specifically, and you want to request an event, you can do that right here. Or if you just want to reach us and send an email to us, you can reach us there. You just go to buffaloghostbusters.com, guys. So there we go. In fact, the TeePublic site, all the proceeds from here also goes towards Toys for Tots. Let's see if we can load this up real quick. We have the Buster on the Brain, Buffalo Ghostbusters right here, Busters on the Brain. We have an updated Baducci Studios version of our logo, the 40th anniversary from this year's Ghostbusters Day event, the previous images from our third Ghostbusters Day event from 2023, Ghostbusters 2022, and of course 2021 when we did the fundraiser for the sign. We have the Frozen Empire logo. We have the Engineering Corps Buffalo Ghostbusters version of that. We have all these different versions. We even have a mini puff. And of course, this one is an awesome one. This is Sam Hain from Real Ghostbusters.
Oh, that looks amazing.
And of course, you can order that through TeePublic. So as long as you can order through TeePublic, they can ship it out to you. So I bet you may even be able to order one of those yourself, Beaky. 30% off right now. Yeah. See, yeah. Sign up. You get that. Get that. And they have this in hoodies, a tank top, a ball cap. Now you want stickers? They can do that. T-shirt, coffee mug. It's all there.
Ooh.
So there you go. But see, Dave, he says, Dave, pick me up on the way down. Mike, where are you located? I think he said you were in New York State.
Do you want to fly over to the UK and pick me up?
No, I think I'll just take my TARDIS.
Oh, that's even better.
It's bigger on the inside.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rome, New York. Okay. Yeah, see, there you go. Rome, New York. That shouldn't be too far. Okay, so he is right past Syracuse. That could, depending on which way we take this year, that could be doable. Just saying. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to be in Syracuse for Thanksgiving.
Ooh.
And if I decide to take the Friday off, maybe we can hang out or do something. Possibly. We'll see what happens this year. Yeah, so those that don't know, I'm in basically like Niagara Falls, Buffalo area right here. Okay. This place called Grand Island. This is where I live. You got Niagara Falls here. Then you have the city of Buffalo right here. There's Buffalo. Okay. So all the way from Buffalo, we drive down to New York City, the other end of the state. It's about six hours, maybe 7 hours with a couple stops. So about 6.5 hours or so to get there. Driving all day long. What do you think about that, Peaky?
That's like from here. That's like from where I live to Scotland.
Oh, it's a 6-hour drive? Okay.
Yeah. You can do the UK from like very south, like from like Land's End, which is southwest. So very tip to tip. So southwest all the way to the very tip of Scotland. You could do that in like 10, 12 hours.
Okay. So it's a weekend trip. There you go. Yeah, Mike says 45 minutes from Syracuse.
Yeah, you can if you really wanted to. I don't know anybody that has done it, but you could do like the UK north, south to north in like a day.
Well, if
I wouldn't do it personally.
If I ever get some money set aside, that's one thing the wife and I always wanted to do is go over to the UK. Oh, she wants to do Scotland. I want to do Scotland, Ireland, and the UK.
Mm.
And why would I want to do the UK? Because I'm a Doctor Who fan. But no, I mean, some of the best shows are from overseas. I mean, I grew up on Red Dwarf and Doctor Who, so. And Are You Being Served?
I've met Rimmer.
Oh, really? See a smeghead?
Yeah, I've met Chris. I've met Chris Barry.
How is he? I hear he's pretty cool, actually.
He's a really nice guy.
Okay.
Because I've met an OG Power Ranger, and I've met like one or two actors before, but he was like, obviously I grew up watching Red Dwarf as well, so my dad used to watch it. It was on TV around the time I was quite young as well, so it's perfect for me. And but like he was kind of like, because he's been in a multitude of things, whereas other people I've met have only been in one or two things.
Well, yeah, I know you did the Laura Croft movies with what's her name? Oh, how am I blanking on her name right now?
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, John Voight's daughter.
Yeah, and
former Mrs. Brad Pitt.
So yeah, he I was quite nervous meeting him, but yeah, he's a sound guy. I've got a photo of him up on my wall up there.
I met Sean Patrick Flannery from the Boondock Saints. I met him this past weekend. He's cool. Wasn't this past weekend, weekend before. I've met a few of the actors from like some of the background actors, I guess you might describe as or featured actors in Ghostbusters. The first movie, like Joe Cirillo, who played the cop. When Peck wants to shut down the containment grid, he's great. He actually comes out and does events with us. I've met a few other actors. My wife has met. Oh God, how am I blank? Michael Rooker a couple times.
Nice.
He's pretty outrageous. I met a few other people. I'm blanking right now, probably because I'm tired.
There you go, Dave.
I've met Christopher Lloyd. Nice. I met Christopher Lloyd several years ago. Peter Capaldi is still probably my favorite interaction I've ever had. We did a Doctor Who photo op with him, but I was dressed as number 11 and my wife was dressed as Clara. We do this photo op, and like he takes the Sonic out of my hand and he says, "Are you ready to save the universe?" And, like he does a whole pose and everything. Like he is a fan, and he's just so great interacting with people. And I said, "Well, you know, Mr. Capaldi," he says, "Call me Peter." I'm like, "Well, Peter, you're my wife's favorite doctor." He says, "Well, she's got to come back over here and get a hug then." So my wife got to hug the doctor. She was pretty ecstatic the rest of the day.
And then I got the legend.
Oh, Jesus! How was that, man?
Oh, he's fun. He's honestly, he's amazing. Like I was sat there talking to him for probably about 10 minutes, talking about Flash Gordon.
Oh, man, he was also, other than Flash Gordon, maybe some Eagle Eye fans from the 80s will remember him appearing on MacGyver. Actually, he was a professor that MacGyver. I think it was a professor of MacGyver's. The Richard Dean Anderson show. But like I can just imagine him telling stories about the making of that movie. Because I mean, Flash Gordon, as goofy and as cheesy as it can be, to me it's a cult classic. The Queen soundtrack alone.
I love Flash Gordon.
I mean, Max von Sydow as being the merciless.
Make it out.
Timothy Dalton as Baron.
That picture frame just there is the DVD of Flash Gordon signed by Brian Blessed. I got him to sign the DVD.
Oh, nice.
Which I've now immortalized in a shadow box.
I do have a signed DVD of John Wesley Shipp, who was the 1990s Flash from the TV show.
Yeah.
I didn't get this. I wasn't there when he signed it, but a friend of mine took the DVD to the con and got it signed for me, so I do have that. But yeah, that's. I also got the. Oh God, how am I blanking on his name? My brain is really Swiss cheese right now. The guy who played Principal Strickland from Back to the Future.
Yes.
I got his autograph. I met him in June at Nickel City Comic Con here in Buffalo. He was still looked like he was pretty good, but his health definitely looks like he's a bit downhill. I mean, you got to figure, how old was he back then? And that was like 30 some odd years ago. So, but that's the thing.
I will be in like a month. I will be meeting Katie Manning, who is an OG Doctor Who companion. She played Jo Grant.
Oh, wow.
John Pertwee. Yeah. And I'll be meeting the original voice actor for K9 as well that same weekend.
See, that's just bonkers. That you're going to meet Jo Grant. I
can't wait.
I can't wait. She makes an appearance in the new Who, or I heard there's a unit spinoff that they're working on potentially. So I'm hoping maybe she'll pop up there. Because it seems like
I'd like to see her again. The last time she was in anything Doctor Who, she was in the Sarah Jane Adventures, The Death of the Doctor. I
thought she was in something more recent.
I think she was in like the Tales of the TARDIS as well. With
I want to say Tales of the TARDIS.
Yeah, she's in Tales of the TARDIS. I think maybe she made an appearance in Jodie Whittaker's last episode when they're past companions are sat around in a circle talking?
Yeah, I'm actually looking it up right now on imdb.com. Let's see here. 2024, she did The Lost. Well, between 2013 and 2024, she did Doctor Who, The Third Doctor Adventures. I think those are audio. Those are podcasts.
Yeah, I think they're
The Lost
Big
Stories.
Finish.
Tales of the TARDIS, yeah, in 2023. So yeah, that was her most recent. But I would like to see her back in the current series or in that spinoff, because it seems like the unit spinoff, they're going to have a bunch of Doctor companions there. I heard rumors. I haven't seen anything confirmed, but I heard rumors of Martha Jones, which would be
I'd like to see Martha come back.
Yeah. And to see if she's still with Mickey.
They kind of made they made a thing of that Kate Stewart's been recruiting past companions for UNIT.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Who better to help defend the Earth when the Doctor's not there?
Well, I mean, come on. Look at the ending of the 13th Doctors. You had Ace.
Mm.
That was probably one of my favorite companions to see them come back was Ace.
Tegan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tegan as well.
Yeah. But seeing Ace and then her kind of like starting a little romance with Graham, I was like, oh
yeah,
okay.
She was flirting a little bit there, wasn't she?
I'm like, hey, and then they have like a companion therapy group. I'm like, well, who else are they going to talk to but themselves, or to other companions,
Exactly.
But I love Doctor Who, and I know a lot of people feel divided when they showed that Tennant was still alive. I like that he's still out there. It opens up possibilities for so much more, and it could explain how you could have a doctor as a curator in the future or the past.
Exactly.
So it opens up a world of possibilities, and I love it because, to me, I mean, I grew up with Tom Baker and John Pertwee, and they're always going to be some of my favorites, but Tennant is probably my all-time favorite. I want to meet him someday. I have autographs from Paul McGann, the 8th Doctor, who I think was very underrated. I wish they would have given him a series, but they didn't. They just had the one TV movie, which I'm still trying to find a good digital copy of. He was great. He and I talked for like 20 minutes. He was awesome. We were at a con, and I had bought this book from Amazon that says it was called How to Be a Time Lord. I'm like, this would be the best thing to have a Doctor Who actor sign. I had him sign it, but when he looked at it, he looked at his assistant, and he kind of like looked at it and was like, yeah, that's how to be one of us. But when he did that, he pointed at me and him at the same time. I'm like, okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. I loved it. He's just amazing. And this was like 2017, I think. 2017, 2018? No, this is 2017. So this was like before, like he did his little snippet, his little 10 minutes thing.
His regeneration into the War Doctor.
So before the War Doctor. So I mean, that was just awesome because he was always one of my favorites. Capaldi wrote like, never be cruel, never be cowardly, and just run fast, laugh hard, just like that was great.
Never eat pears.
My wife, when we went up, we got the photo with him, but then she went and got an actual autograph from him. He wrote he covered 2/3 of her photo. Like he wrote like a whole paragraph because it was our anniversary that weekend. And we had told him that we're here, part of the anniversary is, come to see him and get a photo with him and everything. So he wrote this whole thing, you two were meant to be. I'm the Doctor. I've already been to the future. Like this whole, very sweet thing. and like that's just awesome. You don't get that kind of interactions.
No,
You know?
that's a one of a kind interaction.
Capaldi's amazing. Now, at the time, I was worried that he was sick because his head was shaved, but that was around the time I think he was filming the second Suicide Squad movie.
Oh, when he was playing the thinker, weren't he?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm like, oh, I found out. I kind of felt relieved because I would have felt bad if he was like going through cancer or something. That's where my thoughts were. And last year, we went to New York City Comic Con. She took the book without me knowing, and she got Michelle Gomez to sign it.
Ah.
But the running gag is I have doctors sign it in silver, and now as Missy, she signed it in gold Sharpie. So now if I get like David Sims or any other masters now moving forward, I'm going to have to make sure I have a gold Sharpie for them and a silver Sharpie for the doctors now as a running gag. So I'm like, he the master Missy, they are still a Time Lord, so it works. The book works.
I'd love to meet John Sim.
Was it John Sim? Was he the master?
Yeah,
John Sim. I thought his name was David.
Yeah, because he was in the John Sim. Because he's in a BBC show over here in the UK. Like, I used to love watching a guy from Mars.
Oh, I loved it. I watched the original, but I also watched the American attempt that they did at that show too. But the policeman who gets basically sent back in time.
Yeah, it's all like Bowie music.
Oh yeah,
the entire soundtrack is Bowie.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Bowie music. So
no, you can't go wrong with Bowie. That's a good show. I like
Bowie would. I'm sorry. I know this is like me fanboying, but Bowie would have been a hell of a doctor.
Bowie would have been a great doctor.
I mean,
just think of how he was. Think of how he was in Lab.
Yeah, it was John Sim. Yeah, John Sim, Michelle Gomez. How did you like Sacha Dhawan as Sacha Dhawan as
I quite liked
master?
Him. I quite liked his master.
I mean, he was just crazy and diabolical.
He added the kind of like it felt OG master a little bit.
Yeah, a little, maybe not Roger Delgado, but I'm trying to think who's the one that played after him. Anthony Ainley. Like he was a little bit more, crazy, a little bit more, maddening. Because Roger Delgado, it was almost like, I think like Missy got a lot of inspiration from Roger Delgado's portrayal of the master, but
I think I kind of like Roger was kind of a little bit charming and
more debonair because he mirrored Pertwee's doctor. So Derek Jacobi was great as Professor Yana, but he also did some animation for Doctor Who and some radio serials, I think.
Yeah, he's the War Master. They named his
the War Master. Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to have seen more with him, But how did you like Eric Roberts as an American master? Be honest.
I mean,
you can be brutal.
I didn't like it because like. Back then, I did. But back when that film came out, I didn't mind the film. But watching the film now, I don't really like the film that much because, like, they were trying to make it too American.
Well,
I feel like
the problem with that, and trust me, I agree. It was a Fox production. It was 20th Century Fox. I mean, you have Will Sasso. A young Will Sasso pre Mad TV, because he also made a few appearances on the first season of Sliders. So that was like the early 90s. So I mean, if you were like here in the States, if you watched all the sci-fi stuff and some of the shows in the early 90s on Fox, you can kind of see certain people just kept reappearing on different shows because they were probably contracted to Fox.
Yeah.
I mean, at least we got to see the transition from the 7th to the 8th. I loved that TARDIS. That console room and
TARDIS is pretty cool.
How big and massive and rustic, and just I loved how it was like an amalgamation of a couple, like the secondary TARDIS room, if it was expanded and kind of given like more of an industrial kind of vibe. I loved that aspect of it. I loved it. Eric Roberts, I mean, I enjoyed his master, but it felt like it was a master that kind of like with current Doctor Who, it takes a while for the Doctor to find themselves personality wise and rhythm wise. And it felt like Eric Roberts, like he was just hired to do a job without really checking the past content. You know, like in superhero movies, a lot of the actors will go ahead and, when they get a job, they'll go to a comic book store and they'll start, reading the research, reading the past issues to try and get a feel for that character. John Barenthal said when he got hired when he got the call for Punisher, he went to some local comic book shops, and one shop just gave him like a friggin' stack of comic books and says, "Okay, you're going to be, what are you looking for?" He says, "Oh, I'm looking for Punisher books." And he's saying, "Wait a minute, are you the guy that's going to be playing Punisher?" He said, "Yeah." So the comic book guy goes back behind his counter, starts cherry picking certain books, and says, "Here, this is what you need to read." So, I mean, I like hearing stories like that, but Eric Roberts, he was kind of he was the sex appeal bad boy villain or hothead in the 80s and 90s as far as movies. He can play a great villain. I think if he would have spent time taking a look at the past masters, he could have done a better job.
Yeah.
But I also will say this: I think it also comes down to the writing and the producing. Studios like Fox, Fox Television, they stick their nose in. They interfere. They interrupt. They step in when they shouldn't be stepping in. That's part of the issue right there. I think it could have been done better. Like also, this is the first time we see the Doctor almost being romantic.
Yeah.
And obviously, I get that could be an American influence, or it could be a changing of the, a time, sign of the times, so to speak. I didn't really think that they had a whole lot of chemistry together. Paul McGann and the actress who played Grace.
Yeah.
I mean, however, it was nice to see a doctor with the Doctor, a medical doctor as a companion, kind of a precursor to Martha, if you will. It's just, again, it was, I think if it wasn't Fox, if it had more, I don't know who legacy creators involved with it, I think it would have done better.
Yeah.
That's my whole thing.
Well, that's because that's when they tried to get it over. That's when they first really tried really hard to get it over there for you Americans, weren't it?
Well, yeah, but I'll say this. In the 90s, they tried to bring a lot of UK content over to the States to redo them. I don't remember watching it, but I remember reading about the American version of Red Dwarf. Yeah, I remember reading about it in Starlog magazine.
There was an American version.
They tried to do an American version. It did not. It did not fly. No pun intended.
I was going to say, because I think what makes Red Dwarf is the British humor. I think trying to recreate that with American actors.
Here, let me pull this up. Okay, we're going to Red Dwarf American pilots. And here's the cast. Where are you? U.S. pilots. See if I can pull up pictures. Here you go. You had Craig Bierko as Dave Lister. Jane Leaves, who you might know. Remember, there's a TV show called the TV show Frasier, and she was the healthcare manager for his father. That was her.
Mm-hmm.
She played Holly. They had a version of Kat played by Henson Battle. Chris Eigen played Rimmer. Let me see here. They had Robert Llewellyn as Crichton. So I think that was the only actor to cross over. There was a second version of Rimmer, played by Anthony Fusco. See if we can get a picture of him. I don't think I can pull up a picture of him actually. But here's a surprise casting. They had Terry Farrell as the second version of Kat. So they gender swapped Kat. First you had Henson Battle, who I don't quite recall him. The name sounds familiar. But Terry Farrell, of course, we know her better as Jadzia Dax from Stargate Deep Space Nine. Oh, I know who he was now. He played this one character named Thames from Quantum Leap, the Evil Leaper trilogy. So I remember now. I know who he was. Okay. In fact, it says he died this year. Oh
wow,
that's sad. But yeah, so there was an American version. Now, Craig Bierko, who played Lester, you probably don't recognize his name. He's played in a bunch of different stuff. Probably his best known, he was in a movie called The 13th Floor, but he also appeared in one of the Scary Movies. And he's done like some TV shows left and right. Let's see here if I can pull him up. This guy right here. He's appeared in a lot of comedies: 13th Floor, Long Kiss Goodnight, Cinderella Man, Scary Movie 4. He never really hit the big time. Like he appeared in an episode of The Blacklist and never really did anything super big. He was on a recurring show called Unreal. My wife's actually re-binging that right now on Netflix. But he never really hit it big time. But I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you can't just do carbon copies. I mean, they tried to do Coupling over here in the States, and that show didn't fly, but it was a massive hit over in the UK. I mean, there's so many shows that they've tried to, replicate over here and vice versa, and they just don't work. I think it comes down to the culture and what the current, what's the word I'm looking for? The current atmosphere of your TV audiences are,
Yeah.
But I can't believe that they're still making more Red Dwarf, and I mean that in a great way.
I'm looking forward to it.
I still have to catch up on a couple seasons because the last I saw of The Boys from the Dwarf was Back to Earth, and I actually enjoyed that.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the hell out of Back to Earth.
Because they done a couple more series after that, didn't they?
I want to say they did about 3 or 4 because wasn't it? You have a network there called Dave. I love that. Did you have a show network there called Dave? I love the fact that you have that. But I mean, when I was growing up, I mean, watching reruns of Red Dwarf on PBS late on Friday nights, right before they would do BattleBots. I always loved Red Dwarf. I mean, it was that kind of insanity that you kind of had with like Doctor Who. Over here in the States, you'd have reruns of Doctor Who, and you'd have Red Dwarf. And occasionally you'd have Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
So they've done 12 seasons of Red Dwarf, and season 12 came out in 2017.
I wonder, do they explain or address Rimmer's receding hairline and his lack of hair as a hologram?
I'm not sure because Back to Earth was season 9.
I actually still have a digital copy of that. I love the hell out of that actually.
I
Because
have seasons 1.
I mean,
2.
it's kind of like it's them jumping their own shark. I mean, it's them like coming to the realization that they're just characters, and the whole Blade Runner thing was kind of hilarious.
I got seasons 1 to 8 on DVD.
Nice. Yeah, I have digital copies of the episodes. I mean, I always love how there was no like proper canon to it. It's just a bunch of insanity,
Yeah.
You got, the 3 misfits plus, Holly for the most part. Just trying to make it through the universe. I mean, it's not like they're going to make it home. But
and then bringing Kachanthi back and
yeah,
that whole bit where they go back in time and stuck in the brig for most of the season, like they're locked in the prison cells for most of the season, and so yeah, no, I go for a dwarf.
I don't know many people.
I'd love to be able to meet the other.
Well, no, I mean,
I'd love to meet the other actors.
I would love to meet to meet Craig. What's his name that plays Lister?
Oh yeah, Craig Charles.
Yeah, Craig Charles. I mean, that guy can do comedy. He can do drama. It's just
he's a DJ as well.
Is he?
I think so. Yeah.
In fact, when I started dating my wife, she was like, "What did you just say? What's that word?" I said, "What, smeg?"
Smeghead.
She was like, "What does that even mean?" I said, "Trust me, it would take too long to explain."
Yeah.
I mean, I got her into Doctor Who, and that was a win. I got her into Marvel. I just don't think she's ready for Red Dwarf, and I don't think she would appreciate it. Just like I love horror movies, but it's just not her bag,
Yeah. Yeah, he's a comedian, actor, DJ, and a radio presenter.
Wow. Heavy.
He does a radio show which is Craig Charles Funk and Soul Show.
All right. Oh, he's 60 years old. Wow. He's up in the age.
Chris Barry's about that as well. Yeah, Chris Barry's 64.
Liverpool.
Danny John Jules, he played Cat. He's 64.
He was in Blade Trinity. Or no, he was in Blade 2. He played one of the Night Stalkers, the army of people who were trained to hunt Blade, but they wound up having to work with him side by side. He looks different because he doesn't have his little pomp haircut. He's got like braids going all the way back, and he's looking badass. Of course, he was probably used to having things.
Yeah, Robert Llewellyn's 68.
Oh, you're doing good for yourself, Craig. That's his current wife.
Yeah, Craig Charles is he's punching, isn't he?
Huh?
He's punching above his weight.
Hey. Let's see here. Good on you, man. Good on you. Robert Llewellyn, he is 68. Oh, he must be the eldest.
Yeah, I think he is.
Oh, I thought he was
Norman
American.
Govett, the original Holly.
I actually thought he was American. He was born in Northampton. Yeah. Wow.
Norman Govett, who's the original Holly, he's 77.
Is he still alive? Wow.
According to this, yeah.
Wow, man. I thought he had passed away.
I thought he had as well.
Like when they replaced her with Addie. She's 64.
She's 64.
Chris Berry. He's 64. There you go. Yeah. He was born in Germany.
Oh wow.
Must have been raised in the States though. Or sorry, in the UK. Because he doesn't sound German at all. Cat Danny, he is 64 as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, he was in Blade too. There you go.
Yeah. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels as well. That's a good film.
Yeah. Nice. Awesome. Well, let's see. You got anything going on this week?
No, I don't think so. Apart from new Call of Duty coming out.
You said duty.
I'm gonna be duty.
Well, Colbane Games has been talking about, because usually Friday nights on his streams he does Fortnite. It's looking like those days are going to be over because of the craziness with Fortnite. I mean, the weapons and how everything is unbalanced. It's starting to not be fun anymore for a lot of people.
I haven't played Fortnite since it first came out.
Okay. Well, they've been I don't know if you know, but now Disney owns it. They bought it out.
Right, okay.
And they were kind of jamming Marvel content down people's throats. Don't get me wrong, I love some of the Marvel content and the Easter eggs, but when like the weapons are just so overpowered, and they don't just have like one or two weapons, they have like 5 or 6 different weapons, and if someone gets those weapons, they're just they're so OP, they're so overpowered that it just makes it one-sided, and it's not really fun when you get that, the spiciness. So he's looking at doing he mentioned Apex, but he also talked about doing maybe some PUBG. I've actually never played PUBG before.
I've played PUBG. I've played Apex. I used to love playing Apex Legends.
Okay.
That was one of my go-to games.
So he's looking at doing those very soon. So I'll probably be jumping on with him on Friday, unless I have other plans, because somebody may be coming through town, and I may wind up catching up with them in person and doing some dinner. So I may or may not be there for that. But Spirits Unleashed, Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed. If you're a Ghostbusters fan, anyone out there, I highly recommend that game. It is fun. They just unleashed new content. That's the Ghostbusters game.
Is that like the 4v1 Ghostbusters game where one person plays as a ghost?
Where you can play as a ghost, you don't have to. I mean, I love it. They just introduced because they'll do content, and what you have to do is either you go like 4 hours of Twitch of Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed. And are you still there?
Kind of. I think my internet is.
Are you still there, Piggy?
Issues, I think. Hello?
I think we're having a little connection issue here. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Peaky, can
Am I
you hear
back?
me? You were back? Okay, good.
Am I
can hear
back?
you.
Am I
Okay.
back? I think it's my internet.
No, I was trying to do something here. Let me just fix something very quickly. I'm going to do a quick screen share. Here we go. Yeah, so this game right here.
Okay, yeah.
So you can unlock different skins on here. There's a lot of stuff you can actually do on here. Form I'm using for streaming is taking up a bit, and we're probably going to pick back up. There we go. You still there?
There we go. Yeah, I'm here.
So it looks like the platform I'm using for streaming is drawing a lot of processing power. I need to overclock my graphics card so it can process everything. So every time I'm trying to do that, I was trying to pull it up so I can show you guys. But it's fun. You can customize. You can do real Ghostbusters. You can do regular Ghostbusters. You can do extreme Ghostbusters. You can even have an Afterlife or a Frozen Empire Proton Pack. There's so much customization. You can play as a ghost or you can play as a human. I mean, it's just tons of fun. It is seriously tons of fun. And by the way, yes, I am wearing a 40th anniversary Hook and Ladder 8 t-shirt.
Of course you are.
I got to. I mean, Ghostbusters, what do you expect? In fact, today for work, since we had an in-office day today, and they said, oh, dress spooky, dress festive and Halloween, but still work appropriate. So you know what I wore today, right?
Did you wear your Ghostbusters outfit?
I wore my uniform, not my outfit. I wore my uniform.
Okay. Uniform.
There you go. You got to dress for the job you want, right?
I mean, that's true.
So I did that.
I wonder what I dress. I wonder what job I want then, because I just dress in sweatpants and t-shirts all the time.
Deuce Bigelow, male gigolo. What? But I want to thank everyone for coming on this week. I need to wrap it up because it's about 11:22 p.m. right now. We started at 9 p.m.
Yeah,
so
it's
been running for 2.5 hours.
I might as well not go back to bed at this point.
I mean, hey, there's plenty of stuff you can do. Like, I don't know, jump on Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, have a good old time.
I could record videos.
There you go. You could do that. Like you and I should have a stream. We should plan a stream maybe next week where we're discussing the state of how do you feel about those auctions going on with the Power Rangers? The uniforms and props.
I checked them out. Like, there's no point me even attempting to go for it anything because I'm not going to get an ish. I'm not going to get a chance to.
Well, how do you feel about
to me,
some of the actors asking people to not you know?
I feel like Hasbro should just give them to them. I feel like Hasbro should just give the actors their suits. I honestly do because,
well,
I
mean, that's the thing. It's like, well, a lot of this stuff is 30 years old, 20 years old, 15 years old. Yeah. I mean, some of it is incomplete. You've seen pictures where you see some of the suits, but they're missing a belt or they're missing this. I mean, they weren't exactly stored properly over the years. I mean, you can see a lot of degradation with some of the Megazord and monster props.
Yeah. A lot of that is to do with it changing hands. I think because obviously it went from Saban to Disney to
Saban again,
Neo Saban, and then now to Hasbro. Like, So like all of that stuff has come in and out of storage to go to different storage units.
Yeah, and I would
And it
hope that
hasn't
they
been.
can always, remake those outfits, but I think some of it is, they've been storing all that, so they're trying to save money any way they can, and they probably figure, hey, let's do an auction, let's make a ton of money. But
I
I don't
feel
think,
like also that with them trying to auction off the stuff, is Power Rangers in danger?
well, that's the thing. I mean, it looks like pretty much Power Rangers is dead for the most part. I mean, we know that Playmates has a deal with Hasbro, but outside of that, we don't hear anything. We don't hear any rumblings about new content like a cartoon or a live action show. The only content we know we have is the Boom comics. That's the
Well,
only
Boom
Power
Comics is
Rangers.
ending.
I thought they were starting a new continuation of it.
They are, but I feel like Boom Comics isn't going to be the sole creators of it. I think they're teaming up with another, with someone else to obviously run the line. But yeah, like I don't know, like I think we were originally meant to get a show this year, or like we were going to get a show next year, but this year we were going to get told it, and like
It hasn't happened.
Nothing. There was nothing on. There was nothing on Power Rangers Day. Nothing. Like it's just like okay, this is just. Yeah, I think now seeing the auction, Power Rangers is in danger.
Well,
it'd be sad to see it end. If it's ending,
it's not a good sign because as fans, when we got Once and Always, Once and Always and Cosmic Fury, it gave us hope because we saw a continuation with Once and Always.
Yeah,
we saw Trini's daughter step up to the mantle, and also we got to see that memories and emotion can be passed through the conduit of the powers. So that was something very cool to see. Billy on his mission to bring back Zordon, and then through Cosmic Fury being like the mentor for that season, which was great to see him there. And then we find out that Zordon is still out there. He's in the morphing grid where the morphing masters are. I mean, it showed us a continuation, and right at the end of the season, Billy's like, he's still out there. We can find him, and it's just like, oh, and that's the end of it. We don't see anything afterwards. I mean, obviously, the Cosmic Fury Rangers still have their powers. There could be continuation, but because of Hasbro, that's not going to happen. And I've heard and I've seen content creators out there kind of put down the actors asking people to not bid because if the actors somehow get their suits, if they're at a con with the suit, they can charge extra because they're in costume. I mean, even if they don't, they're gonna find a way to charge people extra anyways. That's how a lot of these actors make their money. I mean, it's
I had a photo with Steve Cardenas who played Rocky.
Yes,
I've had a photo. I've got a photo with him. I'm holding the Power Morpher with the Tyrannosaurus coin in it. But he done the action as well. But he's before we took the photo, he showed me how to do the morph, like how they pulled it from the back, how to handle the morpher properly. He showed me the move, like how step by step.
Would turn it around and then the raise up and then forward. Yeah, because I know
he showed me step by step.
JDF used to do that too for a lot of people.
Yeah. JDF did it for. JDF would do it for MMPR. He would do it for Zeo. He would do it for Turbo as well. Like he would do how to get the key into the morpher, without even looking.
And I still swear that's why they have the morpher for Dino Thunder. That it's pretty much a key.
Yeah, it was kind of like that's why his morpher was it was a throwback to his Turbo morpher.
Yeah.
Because that was the
mean,
last time he was a Ranger. The last time he suited up before that was Turbo.
And I am, and you might hate me for this, but I am highly tempted to turn one, because I have legacy Bandai morphers. I have Mighty Morphin, and I also have the White and Green Ranger morpher. I'm tempted to take one of them and convert it into a Master Morpher.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I don't know, which one do I do? Do I do MMPR, or do I just go with the White Ranger, Green Ranger morpher and just convert that one? You know?
Yeah, that's hard.
I mean, at least if I have the MMPR,
you'll be able to 3D print the other coins for it.
well, I only need to 3D print
Zeo, Turbo,
Zeo
and Dino
and Turbo.
Thunder.
No, I have I have a diecast Dino Thunder.
Oh, okay. You got a diecast Dino Thunder one. That's all right then.
I have that.
Yeah.
I have this one.
Ninjetti. Yeah.
Yes. And technically, I have the Ryu Ranger coin.
Nice.
Lord Draken.
Very nice.
And of course,
Dino
Dino Thunder.
But do you have custom Peaky Arrow morph power coins?
No, but let me see if I can find that picture. Can I have that picture somewhere? Once I find it,
someone gifted the Peaky Arrow with his own power coins.
Nice. I guess I could reach out to someone who made a design for me for the Dave's Dimension and then overlay that on top of a blank power coin, and I could 3D print that. Yes.
You should get a Ghostbusters one.
What if I told you there was once
in the middle?
What would you say if I told you there was once a Ghostbuster Power Ranger power coin? And what if I told you
something I should have?
What if I told you a well-known Power Ranger wielded it? I'm trying to see if I can find the photos. I'm going through my folder right now. Bear with me. Come on. There you go. Let's see if I can find it. Nope, that's not it. Come on. Give me just a quick second.
You're fine.
Where are you? There you go. Peaky, I hope you're ready for this.
I'm ready.
This is not my pack, but this is a pack belonging to one of the members of the Buffalo Ghostbusters.
Oh, now that's sick. Oh,
is
there
that?
it is.
That's the Buffalo
It's
Ghostbuster
the
Power
ghost.
Coin. These are two of our members, Dan Lieberg and good friend
I
Derek.
bet
These are both
JDF
members of the Buffalo
loved that as
Ghostbusters,
well.
and this was Derek's idea. He made his own. He took one of our Buffalo Ghostbuster pins and merged it into a power coin, and JDF rocked it.
I bet JDF loved that.
Oh yeah. I mean, on my Instagram, when the Plasma Series Ghostbuster figures came out, one of the first things I did was I threw a Proton Pack on Lightning Collection White Ranger.
Of course.
But yeah, I mean, come on. Could you imagine if he would have been a Ghostbuster on film? People would
I
have
think
lost
he would
their
have made a
minds.
good Ghostbuster.
Oh yeah.
He would have been karate kicking ghosts like he'd be going hand to hand.
I mean, wearing it like a pro right there, man. Come on. You know? I mean, did that blow your mind?
That did blow my mind.
I mean, come on. Morph time. Buffalo Ghostbuster power. There you go.
Yeah. I think like I said, I think as sad as it is to say, I think this could be the end of Power Rangers.
I mean, it does look like the writing's on the wall. I hope we're wrong. I hope
we're wrong.
But the likelihood
if it is the end, I'm glad we got to see a 30th anniversary special.
Yes, I mean, honestly, they could have even kept it on life support a little bit. Keep doing another 30th, like keep that once and always, like do a yearly special, if not a series.
Yeah.
Just do a special every year for at least 3 or 4 years. You know?
They could have done a longer series of Cosmic Fury and perhaps a second series of Cosmic Fury.
Oh yeah, I mean they definitely could have kept it going, you know.
10 episodes wasn't enough, I don't think, for Cosmic Fury.
No. I like that. I mean, we had a Power Ranger actually lose their arm. I mean, we had stakes were definitely higher.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, it would have been cool. And the thing is, with Once and Always, they could have done other Ranger teams. They could have shown us more of, SPA.
I would have loved to see the
with
formation
Adam
of
and Aisha.
SPA.
I mean, they could have given us more.
The transition from SPA to SPD would have been amazing.
Yes,
I would have loved to see perhaps the In Space and Lost Galaxy Rangers come back, because In Space is my all-time favorite series.
Yeah.
I loved In Space,
and we know those powers are still intact, so we know that for a fact. I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a thing. I mean, Lightspeed Rescue.
Yeah.
I always liked Lightspeed Rescue. Galaxy.
Well, they left it. They left the Lightspeed Rescue open-ended as well, because the very last episode, you see them all run off for an emergency. Like they leave their morphers behind.
Yeah,
they're still donning they grab their jackets and jump in their cars and run off to save people from a fire.
Yeah, but they also
Open-ended.
teamed up with Time Force, so we know that they had their morphers again.
Force.
Yep. I mean, there's so much that they could have done. In I mean, honestly, SPD was one of my favorites, because they weren't just kids; they were 20-somethings.
Yeah, they were adults. I feel like after, I'm gonna say,
I mean,
when they stopped doing the high school stuff, it was like after Lost Galaxy, when they were like adults.
Well, Lost Galaxy, they were pretty much like adults,
Yeah, from Lost Galaxy onwards, because they were still kind of in school during In Space.
Well, they were that age range, yes.
Yeah, so like once you got into the adult side of them, adults saving the world and not high schoolers, that's when it started getting a little bit better for me, anyway.
But yeah, it's sad to think about it. I'm hoping that we're going to be wrong, or maybe they're going to reboot it from scratch, which I think would be a mistake.
I don't want them to. That's another like same for me. I don't want them to reboot it and start again from Mighty Morphin.
No,
that'd be a big mistake.
I mean, all the fans out there, we've all thought of our own versions of what Power Rangers, what we would like to think, or what kind of stories to tell. I mean, I once had a theory, a story that like a fan fiction story I was working on, where someone had the Green Ranger coin, but it wasn't Tommy's original one. It was, remember when they cloned him, and there was the White Ranger and the Green, or there was the Green Ranger versus his White Ranger, and they had to travel back in time to Colonial Angel Grove, but he stayed behind.
Yeah.
Well, my little fan fiction was of that coin being passed on from Guardian to protect that power until a chosen Guardian would step up and reactivate the powers when they're needed. You know, and it turns out that this the person who gets it is someone who actually had a tragic loss when they were like 19, 20, that they never really got over, and the person never really had much faith in himself, like a lot of heroes, right? We know, the heroes always think that they're a zero, but he finds himself in a situation where he's kind of forced to accept that yes, he can actually make a difference, but his sensei decides to pass on this old relic that's been passed on from one person to another to protect it. He decides to give him it. It's an old corroded coin that you can barely make out what the image on it is. That's the coin. And this young man, this guy, he finds himself in a situation where, he doesn't believe in the coin or anything, and he activates it. And the powers are kind of fading in and out, like almost like he doesn't have control. And eventually, some baddies from another dimension are kind of breaching our world, and so he goes after them because they kidnapped one of his friends. And he finds three guardians of that world, but they're not strong enough with their abilities to battle these demons. So he comes across an idea to use the powers of the coin to kind of amp them up and make them Rangers. With a little help of two Mighty Morphin Rangers, Billy and Tommy. Because obviously Tommy's the original holder of the Green Ranger coin, so it's kind of like, at one point in the story, the man, the coin, he can see flashes of the adventures of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And I wrote this before Once and Always, so that was kind of a freaky thing, that the whole thing about the flashes of images being passed through. So that was kind of freaky. But eventually, with the help of Billy and Ninjor, they make some morphers for these Guardians. But we all have our own little like fan fictions of how we would like to see Power Rangers continue. But I always thought that was a weird loose end that was never wrapped up. Is Colonial Tom because we know he still had the power, because he snapped his fingers and formed a little bit of green energy, and he forms a colonial hat for himself. So obviously he still had the Green Ranger powers. So I always thought, like, well, what would be a way for that to kind of continue on? Because obviously when Tommy got the Master Morpher, that kind of superseded Ninja, basically recreated the powers.
Yeah.
Right? So that means that there's a copy of the Green Ranger power out there. So that was my whole thing. But, I mean, we can hope that it lives on in comic books or some other media. But yeah, it's depressing. It's annoying. I mean, what can we do about it? It's not like Hasbro will listen to us.
I sold all my Lightning collection.
I have my Lightning collection here. I'm thinking about boxing it up. I mean, I'm seriously thinking about doing it.
And I boxed it up and it was just in the way. So I was like, well, I can't finish the line anymore. I can't finish the teams that I've already started. So I was like, I'll sell them. I had 74 figures and I sold them for £100.
Okay.
Because they weren't in box.
No,
They were loose.
all
They
mine
had
are
all
on.
their accessories.
All mine are open. So I mean, but that's the thing. It's like with Super 7, I'm probably going to keep my Super 7s because what I like about them was they actually had where the weapons can merge together to make the power blaster that they had.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're not as articulated, but at least their paint apps are on spot. You know, and I'm hoping to continue. You know, to at least complete the original Mighty Morphin. But I mean, outside of that, it's like that's another reason why I'm thinking of selling my Dragon Zord and my Zap Dragon Zord and Megazord. You know, I'm missing some of the little token pieces, but outside of that, everything's there. And I'm gonna probably see what I can get for them. And you know, even if they give me like instead of like 140 or 150, if they give me like 85, I'll probably still take 85 and 85, and you know, get myself a hot toy from that shop. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not ideal, but I mean that's the thing. When the collection, when you get something like this, it devastates the collectors and makes them say, well, okay, I can't continue the line. Is there even going to be a line? Should I even still hold on to them? Because let's be honest, those figures were not perfect. Some of them were good, and a lot of them had a lot of paint defects, and there was very poor QC issues there. And the head sculpts, I always kept the Ranger helmets on my figures, anyways, because the head sculpts were cracked.
I had their heads. I had the civilian heads on, but they had their helmet under their arm.
Okay.
That's how I used to display mine.
Yep. But I mean, that's the thing. And I think we should definitely do it. I mean, I would love to be able to set up maybe something regular where you and I discuss each season, or maybe even doing some rewatches.
That'd be good.
Something, you know,
that'd be good.
Because, like, you know, and I'm not saying rewatch like one episode at a time. Like maybe we do like one season. Okay, like we do Mighty Morphin season 1, season 2, 3. I passed on the Alien Rangers, even though it's a shame that they waited so long to do an Alien Ranger figure. The Omega Rangers are still on sale on Hasbro, but I'm not going to buy them. One, they're Boom Comics. Nothing against Boom Comics, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And I get that an argument can be made because Lord Draken's a great figure. I'll probably hold on to him out of nostalgia for Jason David Frank. I mean, I have my 3-0 Green Ranger and White Ranger. I know that they have Zeo, and I know that they're making Turbo. So if I can get those, I'll be happy. And I'm waiting to see if they're going to do a Dino Thunder. Otherwise, there is So Toys doing a Dino Thunder Black Ranger.
Yeah.
So at least then I'll have the full 1/6 scale collection of Jason David Frank. So we'll see what happens. But I'm going to say goodnight. Whoa. Well, we got other people. Oh, Archer's still hanging around. I hope they reboot Power Rangers because nothing else is working at this point. Pretty much. I mean, I can't argue that. My wish list would be for them to do a special every year or every other year, similar to Once and Always. I would really love something like that because we saw the Rangers get a little grittier because we saw them right in the death of Trini. You know, she was killed.
Yeah.
You know, it would be great to see some kind of like legacy situation, you know? But I get it. Like, you know, look at everything nowadays. Everything's being rebooted. So I do get that. I get that, you know, the only way forward a lot of times is to start from scratch. Sometimes you can take what you already had established and kind of build up. I mean, look at Doctor Who. I mean, they have not started from scratch. They've done some soft reboots in a few ways. Let's be honest. But they're using the mechanics of the original show to allow for new actors to step in and kind of keep it fresh, even though some of the storylines have been a little bit crazy. But take a look at Star Trek Strange New Worlds. It is a brand new, fresh take on canon that's already established, and they're keeping that canon in place, but they're making small, subtle changes. I mean, Strange New Worlds, for anyone who's a Star Trek fan, is based on Captain Pike. They only did one pilot with him, but then they revisited his character in The Cage. But they're retelling stories of the Enterprise before Kirk. And they're telling it in great, magnificent ways that keep you wanting more and more. But again, also look at Star Trek. Right now, we have Star Trek Strange New Worlds. We have the final season of Lower Decks. And they're going to be working on Starfleet Academy. And we have the movie of Section 31 coming out, I want to say next year, early next year. So, I mean, Star Trek is kind of, it's on life support in some aspects. You know, when you kind of like, when someone says Star Trek and you have to say what show you're talking about, there's a lot of confusion. It can throw people off big time.
Yeah. Is Strange New Worlds something good for someone to watch who's not massively into Star Trek?
I love it. I'm a Trekkie, but I'll say this. The character of Pike is actually introduced in the second season of Star Trek Discovery. Okay? You don't need to watch Discovery. You can start with Strange New Worlds, but I enjoy it. The writing is good. The actors are great. Do you know anything about Star Trek, the original series?
Spock? A bit. I've seen like the odd one. Yeah, I've seen the odd 1 or 2 episode of the original series.
Spock is probably the only person you will recognize because like Uhura is like, she's a cadet that is doing like a semester on the Enterprise before she's graduates from being a cadet to being like an ensign or something. Okay. So she's young as hell. Spock is there. You meet James Kirk's brother. Okay. And eventually in season 2, you'll meet Kirk because he's just a lieutenant from the Farragut. So this is kind of like prequel Star Trek, so to speak. But you have the Enterprise. Obviously, the controls and the technology looks way awesome. But it's the fun of it. It's a good written. It's very smartly written. Anson Mount plays Captain Christopher Pike, who, because of his adventures during season 2 of Discovery, he knows his future. He knows that in like 10 years, like 7 to 10 years, that he's going to be in a horrific accident when he's trying to save a bunch of cadets that will disfigure him and basically relegate him to endless pain inside kind of a wheelchair type device.
Right.
Okay. And season 1 is him coming to terms with that future. He even tries to change that future. But he sees that the repercussions of him changing the future would destroy the people around him physically and mentally. So, it's really good. They have good actors in there. There's humor in it too. There is humor in it, which is good. They have a good balance of action, sci-fi, and humor. The second season gets really good, and even the third season is just amazing. So it's a great show. It's a great show. It's on Paramount Plus or maybe streamable on other networks where you are, or other streaming services, but it's enjoyable. To me, it's, as far as like Star Trek, if you were to compare the original series with Shatner to like Next Generation or even Deep Space Nine, the quality of writing is there. It's tremendous. They know how to throw comedy in there. They know how to throw the right elements. And there's plenty of Easter eggs for fans out there. Eventually, I think it's the second or third season where you actually come across Scotty. You meet a young James Kirk. And they're not ruining the canon. They're keeping the canon intact because James Kirk is not, he's not a lieutenant or a commander on the Enterprise. For one or two episodes, he's just doing a rotation there as part of his command training.
Right.
But the actor who they have playing him does a great job playing a Kirk that is not a Shatner clone. He's not a Shatner clone. He's a little bit more, I don't want to say suave, but he's a bit more edged out as far as the character development is than Chris Pine in the movies. I'll say that. That's kind of crazy. not really spoilers, but just kind of like throwing a few things out there. Archer's like,
how many
loads of new
seasons
Star
are there
Trek
in total so far?
Dave dropping all new spoilers. No, I haven't dropped spoilers. I'm not dropping the relationship stuff. But I mean, Pike in the original Star Trek in the original series, Kirk does, or it's not Kirk, but Spock in the original series actually steals the Enterprise to take Pike to this one planet where he can be with someone who he once had feelings for. And that's in the original series. That's not in this series because those events obviously haven't happened yet. But it should, this series is about the adventures of Pike, Spock, Number One, and all these other characters that will eventually lead up to the Enterprise that so many people knew way back then. But it's cool to see a fresh telling of stories that we never got while keeping the canon intact. That one day Kirk would be the captain of the Enterprise, that kind of deal, But it's a good show. If you like Trek, you will enjoy this. Discovery got a bad rap because there was a lot of people were calling it wokeness. There was, you need to have this represented. You need to do this and this and this and this. I enjoyed Discovery, but I can also see where some people could see where some of it can come off a bit preachy in certain respects.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm one of those people. If I start watching something, I most likely will continue it all the way to the end, and I did that with Discovery. But with Strange New Worlds, I enjoy the hell out of it. I just re-binged it about a couple weeks ago, and I've probably watched it about 5 or 6 times all the way through. So if you're looking for, if you're a Trek fan or you're looking to get into Trek, this is a great one to start with. Like I said, the first season, so there are going to be references to, in the first few episodes, there's references to stuff that happened in Discovery. You don't have to watch Discovery to fully understand it. Okay,
that's fine.
They make references to, Pike, because he once during Discovery he held a stone in his hand, a time stone, courtesy of the Klingons, that allowed him to see past, present, and future. So he got to see what his future has in store for him, which we already know what his future has in store for him via the original series. So that's not really all that much of a spoiler, but because he has that foreknowledge, if he tries to change anything, he can make things worse. If you think you're doing something to make things better, you can make things much more worse. So, he has that knowledge because he has that foreknowledge. He stresses with it. He's trying to deal with it, trying to understand it, and that causes a lot of conflict. So if you do start watching Strange New Worlds, let me know. We can even do a little, recap of the episodes. Because
I'll let you know.
The writing, it's great that they have a lot of unknown actors on there, but they have some good known actors on there. Like Christopher Pike was he's Anson Mounts. He's appeared in a lot of different stuff. He was on ABC once did a show called what was it? Not the New Mutants, but the Inhumans. Okay.
Oh yeah. He Black Bolt, yeah.
Yes, he played Black Bolt. Also, you have Oh, what's her name? She was married to John Stamos. I'm blanking on her name right now. Rebecca Ramon. Rebecca Romaine.
Oh yeah.
She plays number 1, who is like the first officer of the Enterprise under Pike. So she plays like this straight by the book, but also a supportive, good friend to the captain. Okay. And that role was actually played in the original series by Majel Barrett Roddenberry, who eventually, she married Gene Roddenberry, and she was the voice of the Enterprise computer and Starfleet computers all the way from the original series, Next Generation, all the way through. She voiced all those.
Oh, wow. Oh, she was Mystique in X-Men.
Well, yeah, Rebecca was, but the original actress who played Majel Barrett, or who played number 1, she was also Loxana Troy on Next Generation. She was Deanna Troy's mother. So if you ever saw those episodes, that's her. So she played the very first one. And that was the thing. The very first pilot of Star Trek, CBS wanted to pass on it because there were things about the show that they didn't care for. And they retooled it to make Spock more logical, more, not emotional. They had issues also with a woman being the first, being the first officer of the ship. Mind you, that was the 60s, so it's a different time and place.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of things that they kind of had to retool, and they did. Which, I mean, we always wanted a show where we got to see more adventures of Captain Pike, number 1 and everyone else, and now we finally have it with Strange New Worlds. So, okay. Now I'm really going to stop it. It's 12:01 a.m. here. I just want to check one final update with the Haslab. We are at 5,929 backers. So we're probably going to hit 6,000 probably by morning. I'm going to hope. So thank you for popping on, Peaky. I want to thank the one, the only nerd affiliated Hey Archer, El Presidente of the Nerdbusters himself. Please go ahead and check out his channel this Thursday, 8:15 p.m. ish Eastern.
I've already just subscribed to him.
Yep. Nerd affiliated, of course, is Hey Archer. It's also Sal and Ramblin' Nerd Anthony. They have great content, and every Thursday night at 8:15 p.m. ish. Sometimes it's like 8:21, sometimes it's 8:17. That's why we say ish on the East Coast time. He does his streams where he will recap movies, what the movies are doing as far as like their box office, any new rumors, any new toy news, just about anything and everything that's going on. Of course, we just had New York City Comic Con, so I'm sure him and the crew are going to be discussing that. A lot for him to discuss, being there firsthand, boots on the ground. So guys, go ahead and check him out. And of course, if you're still watching, go ahead and check out the links below. We have the school lunch fundraiser that we're hoping to raise some money here. It goes until the end of October, so October 31st at midnight is going to be the end. That's when we're going to cut it off, and we'll see if we are waiting for more entries to happen. We've only had 1 or 2 people enter. We have some awesome prizes we want to give away, but we need more people to enter. So please share it out. Consider donating. A big thing here is we had some hurricanes on the East Coast, and a lot of people are in hard times right now, so I get that. But please, if you can dig deep and make a donation, it's going to make a world of difference for these kids and their school lunches. But until next time, this is Dave from Dave's Dimension. You know what I'm going to say. I say it every single time. Keep on busting, and I'm always catch you on the flip side. Take care, guys.
Bye.
I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get